There we go, we're back. I have to turn off virtual camera in order to start the YouTube stream, but we are live on both YouTube and TikTok.
Yippee.
Let's go! Yippee! We have no plan today.
Nope.
We just got home from the store. It took a long time
Yeah.
out. However, all of the packages for the giveaway winners have been shipped out.
Yes, I'll
Let's
send
go.
information soon. Probably after the stream.
Tori, welcome to the stream. Who won? Pompoof? Lau, Lilief Loaf, Tangent,
and Fika Rigs.
Fika Rigs.
Yeah.
They are all going to be receiving their prizes in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
So I'll be sending the tracking info after stream.
It is finally
Tutorial time.
tutorial time.
I know, Cookie, you've been here and we've been like doing other stuff other than tutorials, so feel free to ask any questions.
Feel
Hey,
free to
hi.
ask
Hey,
whatever
Mindfuller.
you want.
Yeah.
It is finally tutorial time, and guess what, chat? Oh, you are gonna love this. I guarantee it. I finally have something to do while we're live.
Guess what? Oh, it's so pretty.
A beautiful little watercolor set. It is absolutely awesome. And I've
Awesome.
already been doing some experimental doodles in my sketchbook. Not that. This and little stuff experimenting with it. Because I have basically never done watercolor. Just a little bit here and there. Happy late birthday, Christine. No.
Oh, thank you.
That look edible. Oh, I crunch on them all the time. Have you seen that TikTok of that guy that's crunching on Jolly Ranchers? He just puts them in his mouth.
Do hair? Sure.
How is
Hair
everybody doing today?
time.
I feel a kitty by my foot. It is Puppy.
Puppy.
And oh yes. We also
Yes.
have Applejack
Oh,
chilling.
Look at him.
Look at that. So yeah,
So
what do y'all want to learn about drawing today? Look at this boy. Look at
How to
this
draw a
boy.
cow? You're gonna have to look at some reference. I don't know how to draw cows. A crow. Oh, oops, cow. Why did I read a cow? You know, it's funny because I was just doing some crow doodles for
Stream.
project that we're working on.
How can you draw any face? Any face?
Any face? I mean, how do I How can you draw any face? My birthday was on Wednesday the 10th.
Architecture.
Anatomy. We can do some anatomy.
Boo, 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 boo.
I guess we'll say different faces.
Any face.
Different
Like
faces.
Hunter x Hunter, or like Hunter x Hunter characters. What brush you guys use? You can get it for free. It is this green card right here. You can take a screenshot of that.
Yep.
It is a completely free download on our site, drawanime.com.
Mm-hmm. Is this a shading class? No, it's not a shading class.
It can be
It
if
can
you
be.
ask about shading.
Mm-hmm. Some people, they're also asking about eyes. Yeah, we can do some eyes. And then we'll do... Molly says my birthday was on the 10th. Ooh.
Congratulations. I keep
Congrats.
telling myself that men have a trophy-shaped body, but then they look too fat. Trophy-shaped body.
I mean, that's interesting, but...
Pompoof. When is Pompoof's package getting there?
In a day.
Like a day or something?
yeah.
A day. You should be getting your care package tomorrow, Pompoof.
I just, how about a full process illustration breakdown? Oh, that'd be
Either
fun.
tomorrow or Saturday. I don't
Tomorrow,
actually
Saturday.
know.
I'll have to send you the tracking later after the stream. All right, we'll do some of these. Maybe we'll do some anatomy. We'll see what we get to.
How to draw gesture.
Gesture.
Eyes.
Have
Yippee.
eyes and gesture.
I have never pinged the server.
No, we haven't.
Not that anything is actually really going on. Content updates, is that usually where I put it?
Maybe just to get out of the way, I'll draw a crow really fast. I would say, as always, find a reference of a crow of any kind of reference. And I would say try to break it down to simple forms. You know, for me, when I'm looking at a crow or just anything, I'm always thinking, you know, what's the overall, like, how in what ways can I simplify it? So, like, for instance, I can start with a circle or a sphere to start off for the head, and I can morph this into the neck. You know, the beak is kind of like a cone, but it's a bit smoother, and it has this curvature. So we already have like this crow shaped head, and I'm always trying to think about things in 3D. And of course, this is just, you know, when you're drawing something new, always give yourself multiple times to study it. It may not look right the first time, so I always recommend just doing multiple drawings before, you know, doing a final or whatever.
And then you take a look at it. Just take a step back, right? Just take a step back and look at it and go, okay, it looks like the top of the beak is a little bit closer to the top of the head than that.
Yeah, exactly.
So you can just kind of like take the whole beak and just chuck it up a little bit.
Chuck it up a little bit. I think I made the swerve a little bit too curved, so I'm doing that.
Our oil painting teacher has a really, really good thing that he says. He goes, take your first best guess.
Yeah, first best
guess.
guess.
Chuck it up. Yeah. Your first best guess, right? You have to put something down. It doesn't have to be right, but if you put something down, now you have something to compare to anything else. So for example, if you're drawing from real life, you're doing a study, right? You go, there's blue. I'm gonna put a blue down, and then I'm gonna compare my blue. And okay, I put this blue down. Is it more or less? Is it lighter or is it darker, right? Is it more? And you actually ask yourself these questions in this series. You go, is it lighter or is it darker? Is it warmer or is it cooler? Is it more or is it less saturated?
Yep.
And you will hone in by like your second or third guess. You'll have almost exactly the color you're looking at.
And here I'm kind of looking at like the overall angles of their shoulders, quote unquote, because I don't really know exactly what the bird anatomy is. And I'm also thinking in terms of pieces, like, oh, here's a wing piece, here's a wing piece on the other side, and there's a center. And then I would just basically group them all into one cohesive shape, and then I would separate them later, you know, and then here's the tail bit. And just doing something really simple. No detail at the moment, just simple shapes. You know, here's the legs. They sprout out from underneath. I wonder who's causing trouble.
What is he doing?
And of course, I'm not going to draw a perfect crow right, you know, from the get-go, but you know, this is a good start. Keep in mind the proportion of the head to the body. You know, that all will differ depending on your reference. So yeah, that's how I would start, you know, drawing a crow from reference.
And look for curves.
Yeah, look for curves. Look for very distinct curves.
Curves. Can you elaborate, or I can elaborate on that?
Yeah, you can elaborate, sure.
So one thing that I learned in a class by Wouter Tulp, really, really good character artist, is look at the curve of something. So for example, if you look at this crow right here, right? Let's just take this beak, for example, right here, all right? Come on, get on the screen. There we go. Look at this. This curve, this is just a C curve. It's not an S curve. It's not a compound curve. So the top of the beak is a C curve, all right? And now where does it apex? Meaning what is the point where it peaks and comes around? We're looking for that point, okay? No, I don't want to do that. Pinterest. There we go. Where does it apex? It kind of apexes like...
Pretty early.
Apex is pretty early. And so this is an accelerated curve, which means it starts faster and then gets slower. Totally different from this curve down here. Look, this is actually an S curve. You see one curve right here, very subtle, and then you see a second curve down here, and the apex is kind of in the middle of it. So if you look for these curves, you can go... Can you scoot back a little bit?
Yep.
Thank you. It's kind of like that. Yeah. That's basically the curve that we're looking at, right? It comes down a little bit more like that. So if you break things down by curve, then it helps a lot, all right? And then so let's say we come here, we come straight down, and it's at about that. So like that, and then we'll curve that down. And then you look at the next curve. In here, like look at the shape of the beak inside of it, all right? This is basically mirroring this one, except it's less intense. So it's a C curve, it's an accelerated curve, but it's not as curved as the top one. And we break this up, the top section of the beak, the top piece of the beak, is larger than the bottom piece of the beak, and I'm going to say that's like probably around the 40% or 1/3 mark.
Yeah.
And so we'll come, and you come down, and you can just go, maybe around the 40% mark.
Hey, Toe. And thanks, Lau. Our day was pretty good.
There you go, right? So you can break things down, and you'll remember this. You'll go, oh, I know the top of the beak is an accelerated curve. I know the bottom of the beak is a very simple S curve, or like a very subtle S curve where it's subtle, and then it goes sharper. And so if you really want to learn the shapes of things, break down your reference into simple single curves. Look for the apex. Think how fast is the acceleration? How fast does it drop off? And it'll really help with drawing things.
Yeah.
And it's not just from observation.
It's even just like designing really cool things like hair,
Yeah.
you know, faces, bodies, anything.
Yeah, if you want to break down stuff, break down everything that way. If you want to learn how to draw an anime eye, you look at the curves of the top, of the bottom. How thick is it? How thin is it? How fast does it get thick or thin?
Yep. You know, speaking of hair and eyes, you know, we can get started on that.
Does that make sense, chat? Does that make sense?
I think it makes sense. Hold on, question. Does Abby have any favorite fruit?
I don't know.
I actually have no clue.
I'm sure she would like fruit, some sort of a fruit. You could make a guess, and it'll be awesome.
Honestly, it'd be kind of cute to see what you come up with.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's see.
Like a banana, maybe.
Banana's cute.
I bet she would like, what's like an interesting fruit that Abby would like?
Asian pears?
Maybe like a pear.
Pear's cute.
Maybe a pear.
Mmm.
I feel like she'd like green apples. I think green apples would be pretty good.
Green apples would be pretty good.
Kiwi, that'd be good.
Kiwi's pretty good.
You know, chat, the craziest thing is, whenever I was a kid, I used to like cut the kiwi in half and eat it out with a spoon. And then one of my really good friends, I was at his house and he just took a bite out of it. And I was like, you can eat the skin? I was always told that you can't eat the skin. And he's like, yeah. And I ate the skin and it was the tastiest, it's like a little bit sour. It's perfect to eat with the kiwi. I didn't know that, but now I always just take a bite out of it like an apple.
Yeah.
It's way better. Like, what the heck? Why didn't no one tell me this?
Because it feels weird to eat fuzzy fruit skin. I don't know. I think it's
not. It's not really fuzzy. It's like delicious. You can eat the fuzzy part. Absolutely. You just take a bite out of it like an apple.
What is each of y'all's favorite colors right now? I have no clue.
Every color. Do you shave the kiwi? No. No, you just wash the outside from the store nonsense and then...
Store nonsense?
You just...
Alright. We have faces in our book too. We got head shapes. We got round head shapes. Square head shapes. Triangular head shapes. And so generally a lot of head shapes of different varieties will kind of be in those specific categories. The rounder it is, the cuter it is. The squarish or more triangular it is, the more masculine or stronger it'll look.
Like a random color then. I like yellow quite a lot, Vio. Vio's a pretty good color. Yellow is a pretty good color, Vio. Banana with the skin on is good too.
I ain't doing that.
I don't know about that. I don't know what
that.
sort of upside down way that you guys do things, but get it.
Upside down because Australia. So what I would do, for me, I would probably either choose blue or pink.
Where can I find that book? You can find that book on Amazon.
Yes.
Anime Academy, How to Draw Characters, right there. You can pick it up. This is our book. This is the second How to Draw book that we have published.
Mm-hmm.
You can look it up. That's the cover of it. We also have another one with a girl in an orange jacket. You'll probably see that one as well.
Vio, I would probably either pick blue or pink. You can choose whichever. I always like blue, and I also like pink. You know.
Be found in my house. Awesome.
So if you want to like experiment with different head shapes, what you can do is just try to shorten chins, for example, and maybe instead of if your average face kind of looks like this, you know, which is totally fine. what you can do is you can change aspects of this face. You know, maybe for instance, okay, I can change the length of the chin. I can also change the curvature of the jaw. And that will depend on what kind of shape do you want. If you want a rounder shape with a shorter jaw, you know, something like this would be good. And paired with whatever feature that you want, it'll come out to a different head shape and also a different type of face. So here's like a really, really round head. This is great for like a child. You know, if you want it to be a little bit sharper, you can start the same way. Start off with a circle. Maybe elongate the chin a little bit more. Maybe push the jaw a little bit longer as well.
Wow, your package is shipped.
Wow, already?
No, I'm saying
Oh, yeah. Oh,
we
that's
shipped
right.
it today.
Yep.
We mailed it.
Yes, we did.
And who else got prizes? Giveaway stuff?
Tangent.
No, I'm saying who in the chat.
Oh, Pompoof.
Pompoof is here. We told
Okay.
her. Tangent, Fico Rigs, if y'all are here. Anyways, what?
Yeah, just different face types, different head shapes. So just by changing the...
I did? Awesome.
Awesome.
Fico Rigs, your package is probably going to be here really soon as
Yeah.
well, because you're actually pretty close. So you might be a day or two.
It's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, I'll send you the tracking information, Fico Rigs. So yeah, you know, here's a round one, circle. Here's kind of like triangle plus circle. And then if you want to draw a more boxier head, you can, instead of tapering it like this, you can straighten the sides of the face to make it broader and square off the jaw and the chin as well. So automatically we have 3 different kinds of options just by changing a few things.
How to draw pelvis?
Pelvis? Sounds fun.
Like the bone pelvis, or how to simplify the pelvis with like figure drawing? What the?
Whoa.
What is this? Dahlia with a $10 super chat.
Wow.
And it looks like our alerts are working, by the way.
Mm.
Ada. I know
Ada.
I've told you guys before, but I am so grateful for your lessons, both streaming and Anime Art School. I have improved so much and am proud of my art now. Everyone should check out Anime Art School. Thank you,
thanks,
Dahlia.
Dahlia.
Yes, Dahlia, thank you for the $10 super chat. You heard Dahlia. Go check out Anime Art School, www.drawanime.com.
Here it is. If I can get it. There we go.
There you go.
So just take a screenshot of anyone who's interested in Anime Art School. It's
Yes,
our
it's
classes.
going to be the yellow button, Anime Art School. Dahlia's improvement is insane.
It is. It
Dahlia's,
really is.
Really improving a lot.
I would say she's basically a star student of Anime Art School. She's trying. She's always working super hard
You know
on
what?
the assignments.
Another star student is Mr. Ketsu.
Yes. Yeah.
Bro, he's working through
hard.
those lessons.
I mean, like I see his assignments and they're crazy good. It's crazy how if you saw where he started and then when you saw where he is now, it's just absolutely insane.
I absolutely loved that alert. Yup. Well, now you know what sets that alert off.
Let's do a Roblox smirk. So people are also asking like how to draw different kinds of faces, and I think a lot of it is also in the features. You know, making eyes smaller, making eyes bigger, changing the shapes of the eyes. That's all about design. But you know, you can make your eyes more hexagonal like this and smaller. Push the eyebrows closer together. And you know, the faces will also change depending on your face shape as well. So that's kind of fun. There we go. What else? Oh, yeah. And then, you know, for here, we can do something like very, very round and big.
The worst with eye placement. Eye placement, funny enough, doesn't really matter that much. It just has to work relative to the other features.
Yeah. Like, notice how low the eyes are on this face and how high the eyes are on this face. You know, but it works because this head has a lot more room for the nose and the mouth to work with. If you drew really, really big eyes on this face shape, it wouldn't really work that much. It's like you're kind of limited depending on what head shape you're using. So like the smaller the head shape is, you can work with larger eyes. That works totally fine as well. You know, but I would say as long as they're in like an acceptable range, like towards the middle, that generally works pretty good. You know, this for a younger person or whatever, like a young adult, you may not want to make it super low. You may want to make it on the higher side. But like this is like a good range. But I think ultimately it's also what you can also experiment and test things out as well. Like have a head shape and then decide, okay, how small do I want to put it? And then I'm just going to make my first best guess and then see what happens. Go ahead. Oh yeah, go do it.
When am I trying to do this?
There's no stream challenge right now, no.
What does he look like?
Oh yeah, looks like him. Oh my gosh.
Kind of does look like him.
It does look like him. And then we'll add hair onto these later.
Not this
Except
one.
not this one, because he bald.
There you go.
One Punch Man.
No stream challenge today.
Nope.
When it comes to hair, I'm cooked.
Cooked, huh?
Do you have free art lessons? Yeah, all over our TikTok, all over our YouTube. We stream like 3+ times a week and do art lessons.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's like how you can draw different faces. It's all about the features and the head shape. And sometimes you can have the same head shape but different features. For instance, our girl group, it's basically they're all different characters, but they all have a very similar head shape.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, similar kind of round, pointy chin, round, pointy chin, round, pointy chin. But all their features, like their eyes, for example, are very, very different. Mm-hmm. So like Miko's eyes are super round. Her eyes are more like angular and flat. Hers is more graceful.
Mm-hmm.
So just changing even one element would be good with different faces.
It's kind of like this, honestly.
Oh yeah.
His nose kind of looks like that, but I drew it a little bit dark. Let me just.
Should we lower the mouth a little bit?
Yeah. Where's the? There we go. If you want to draw Saitama's eye, you like I was saying earlier with the crow, look at the curve. So the top is slightly curved, and the bottom is pretty curved, but the apex is like right in kind of towards here. So it's kind of like this. And then his pupil is just like a little dot. There.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's his eye.
Wait,
So
I
like,
can literally see that.
Yeah, so this would be Saitama's eye. So I'd look at the top curve. That looks like it looks like a curve where the apex is sort of in the center. And then the bottom one is curved and the apex is kind of right there. And by apex I mean the part where the curve peaks, right? So here's one. There's one. So apex, apex, apex. Look for where the curve peaks. And it'll help a lot. It'll really, really help you decipher how to like break things down. Look for that apex.
Well, like you can even do this with eyebrows. Here's an eyebrow that's arched. Here's an eyebrow that's much lower. But they'll have all these curves here and here. Y'all are, what are you guys talking about?
Spamming. All right.
And then yeah. So hair would kind of work the same way. You know, if you want to draw wavy hair. Sometimes what I like to do is just draw individual clumps just to test like what kind of effect or what texture am I looking for. So for instance, a straight hair strand would generally have very little curves, but it would still have inherent curves in it. Right? You generally would have like a long S curve. You know, that would work for straight hair. No repeating curves like this. That would make it wavy automatically. So, and another thing is that straight hair also tends to like to curve towards the bottom like that. Like a little J.
Yeah, it really does tend to curve at the bottom a lot of the time. Unless you use like something like heat to prevent that from happening.
Yeah. Like,
in which case that would be part of the hairstyle.
Yep. And it, you know, when you heat straight hair and make it extra straight, then it will look very, very straight.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it would be even more subtle. It would be an even more subtle curve.
Yeah. If I had a character with 4 arms all from the shoulders, where could I put the wings for a less crowded look? I don't know. Wings generally come from the back. So find your scapula. Find the scapula, and then depends on how big you want your wings to be.
You'd probably want to look into comparative anatomy.
Mm-hmm. So there's straight hair, and then there's like wavy hair, which has more curves, and often will kind of twist and turn. Right? And this is not just one hair strand. I mean, hair strands are very, very thin. So this is just a bunch of hair strands clumped together. So a lot of time I will organize my hair strands just like this, and then I can overlap them. You know, maybe I'll have some that are more detailed towards the front, and then the back is a little bit less detailed, but it follows that same gesture. You know, that would also look great. So I just do like these little sample drawings just to kind of test the waters, you know, how I want to organize it. You know, then curly hair, for example, will be a lot more coily. You know, this is like 3C hair. Twisting back and forth.
A couple questions. How would you draw different types of nose, like Roman nose or hawk nose?
I don't know what a hawk nose is, but I know a Roman nose.
And any tips on finding good muted color palettes?
Ooh, that's interesting.
Muted color palettes? Honestly, it's the same. It's basically the same rules. Value is going to rule. And I would say with a muted color palette, you mean like pastel or something? I would say it's the same. You're just going to use gray a lot. You're going to really use gray a lot in a muted color palette. But you're still going to use warm and cool. And gray is the neutral, right? So gray is going to be cool next to a warm, and it's going to be warm next to a cool. So you kind of are dealing with gray a lot more. And just remember that your gray is your neutral.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's really going to be value that makes the whole thing work. But I would say for muted color palettes, yeah, you're really going to be messing with gray a lot. Like cools and warms. And or do you mean like pastels? Like if you're doing a pastel color palette, that's kind of very ethereal, you're going to be pretty much doing a high key. It's usually pretty high key. So, okay, not pastel.
Hawk nose.
But yeah, muted, you're going to be working a lot with gray. Just keep in mind, gray is your neutral. You're going to be working with warms, cools. Like, for example, if you have a predominantly cool color palette, your gray is going to be the warm. And then maybe you'll just go a little tiny bit into warm colors. If you're working with like a predominantly warm palette, your gray is going to be your cool generally.
What I would do for drawing like a Roman nose is I would think about my base nose, like the noses that are more common, which is generally a nice slope. But keep in mind of the bottom of your glabella, which is like your keystone corner, this part right here, or even this part actually, the bridge of the nose.
I don't have my iPad.
Oh, I don't know.
I have to go find it.
Yeah. So what happens with a Roman nose is that instead of a swoop, you know, going this way, your nose droops down instead. So here's the bridge of the nose. Here's what a Roman nose does. I have no clue. So this is what a Roman nose looks like versus this one, which is more like your general nose shape, which is more slopey. This is going downward. And so when you're drawing it in like a 3/4 view, what I would do is I'll start with the keystone corner and then come out, droop down. That's a Roman nose.
Oh, how do you make a watermark for art things? I don't know. I don't watermark my work.
I don't watermark my work either.
I put my name on it so people can find me and contact me for job offers, but I don't watermark my work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the nose, there's different points that will move.
Yeah.
I think Glenn Vilppu probably had my favorite nose breakdown. Is the nose is like the brow ridge and the nose is a series of points where you can like push and pull them.
Yeah.
So
like you can move this point. You can move this point.
Yeah.
Moving it up or down. Or going like this. You can curve even the bottom downward because it's all cartilage, right? You know, you can make it even more like button nose, for example, more flatter.
Their animation, I don't really want you spamming.
How to show shadows and lights for black hair. Ooh, that's interesting. So black hair, like dark colored hair, would be very graphic. And yes, there will be highlights, but not as bright as you think. So I'm just going to go in and just draw like a quick hairstyle. Like that. So what I would do for dark hair is mainly have the majority of this be dark. And then for the lights, I would just make the value a little bit lighter. Actually, you know what I would do? I wouldn't even use full on dark. I would just shade a base tone that is pretty dark. And then that way I can play with the shadows and the lights later. Here's like dark hair, right? And sometimes what I would do is I would say, hey, this is gonna be my highlight. So that means I can go even darker. So that means when I'm drawing in my shadows, I can press harder and I can just leave the base tone alone. And I just block in all my shadows.
What was it? I need to remember.
Oh, there we go. We got a dark and a highlight without really having to, you know, do anything complicated. Right? So that's how I like to shade black hair, because this already tells you all the information that you need that this is dark. If I start pushing all these highlights out, you know, that will look very, very almost too glossy. It's too high contrast. And that would only generally happen if it was like wet hair, for example. So I would always kind of tone down the highlights just a little bit more and just leave it mostly dark.
So when it comes to noses,
Oh, here's the eraser, and you might want to make the
I'm gonna
brush
have
smaller.
to scoot over. Can you scoot back over?
Yep.
That's
Yep.
what you were talking
Yep.
about,
That's
wasn't
what
it?
Yeah.
So if you're drawing like a character, for example, right? And you want to give this character a nose. Let's just say this is the side of their side profile, right? Here's the halfway point, which would be their eyes. Here's slightly above that, which is like their eyebrow ridge. Comes in. And so the skull is sort of going to look like this. I'll pull that back in quite a lot. There we go. And then you've got the ball of the mouth here. You've got this. You've got the cheekbone, and that comes back. So essentially you've got something like this for the side of a character, right? Out, in. So there's a skull. The nose will generally have points. It'll have a point at the end of the bone right here. And these are points you can push and pull, all right? There's another point out here. There's a point right here. And then there's a point where the nose ends. And so, for example, you can do that for a nose. You could do this for nose. You could do this, right? You can basically take these points and push them up and down, and those are generally the points that are going to move. So you've got the end of the bone where the cartilage starts. You've got the part that connects, and you have the tip of the nose. And then there's different shapes for the wings of the nose and different stuff like that. But essentially, you could even say, push this down a lot and pull that out and do something along the lines of that, right? You could have small noses. So that point of the end of the bone, it's actually right here. This is that point. This point will change depending on the person's skull, depending on the bone structure. This can go up, this can go down, this can go basically pull around in different directions. And then, yeah, the cartilage comes out, and then you've got this part, and you got the wing of the nose and whatever. You've got like the lips down here and stuff. But if you want to be able to make more interesting noses, think in terms of, it's almost like vertices in 3D modeling, but you'll change the silhouette of the head based on where you put those points. So there is no one nose. These are all over the place.
Yep.
All over the place. But the points are always going to be there. They're just going to be in different places.
Yes. Completely
So
true.
that was a tip I learned from Glenn Vilpu. He's a really famous figure drawing teacher. He's like in his like late 80s or 90s now. And I thought it was super useful. I thought it was super, super useful. Glenn Vilpu. You want to spell it? GLENNVILPPU.
Oh, PPU. Okay.
And a lot of you have probably heard of him if you're into art and figure drawing and stuff.
What app do you use? This is Procreate, and you can get this brush on our website. It's a green button on our website, drawanime.com. This brush is free too.
Screenshot that.
So yeah, screenshot it. This will only work in programs that have that are compatible with an ABR file. So that means Photoshop, Clip Studio, Procreate.
Anything. It's a Photoshop brush.
It's a Photoshop
so
brush.
whatever accepts Photoshop brushes you can use. Dang, I should go through that class again. It's been so long.
Different faces, anatomy, gesture. I guess we can cover some anatomy.
This is an iPad.
Yeah, this is an iPad Pro.
iPad Pro.
There we go.
So yeah, I find that a lot of people who do like anime type stuff, they never actually learn, or a lot of them never actually learn like the proper proportions of a head or the ways that like real heads vary. And so they learn like a bunch of really generic kind of anime features, and they never really go past that.
Yeah.
And that's fine if that's all they want to do. But if you want to be like a character designer that makes unique looking like manga style characters, I would absolutely take real head drawing and painting classes.
Yeah.
Real proper character design classes, and then apply that to the style of your choice.
So actually, Toe was asking about the armpit and how to break that down, which I think is quite interesting because that is a very complicated area. It's actually just various muscles kind of combining and intersect.
Arm up?
Yeah, arm up, like the armpit area.
Yeah.
You would have like your deltoid, for example, and then you would have your pec underneath. You know, so that causes a vertical. You would also have like the other side of your deltoid, and then you also have your lats.
Yeah.
But obviously, people don't really show all this because it's kind of messy.
And then there's one scapula muscle in there. Which one is that?
Was it the acromion process?
No, that's the bone.
Oh.
Acromion process.
Oh, you mean
is
like
where
a
the bone
muscle?
is. Yeah, the muscle.
Oh, was it the infraspinatus?
I think it's the infraspinatus in there.
Yeah.
You'll occasionally see it on really toned people or whatever.
Yeah.
And then depending if the arm is like this or like whatever, you'll see the tricep there a lot.
Yeah, so then what happens is people will simplify it just like that.
Yep.
That little T shape.
Yeah, a little upside down Y.
Because this comes down to like the chest or the breast, whatever, if you're drawing a girl or a guy. And all this is like your scapula and your back muscles. But you just use this little shape right there for that area.
OMG, this live is so interesting. Glad I passed by. Welcome. Love when you use real anatomy to teach. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I would be terrified to find a live that's teaching invented anatomy that's not real.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The coracobrachialis? No. I
that's
mean,
actually
that would be
in the inside of
that would be like kind of underneath
the bicep, right?
Underneath of your bicep up in there.
Yeah. But that's a good name.
Yes.
No, not a lot of people know that name. So
That's
good job.
That's a muscle that's in there. You tend to see it in a side view like this. You'll see it a little bit in here.
Let me see.
But usually not in an upward view, as far as I know. I never see people imply it really.
Like your tricep here. Yeah, your coracobrachialis would probably be down
It kind of
here.
comes out from your armpit. It connects to the coracoid process, which is like
okay.
this little Cheeto that comes off your scapula.
A Cheeto.
Yeah, it literally is. Look up the coracoid. I think it's called the coracoid process. It literally looks like a Cheeto. It's like this. It looks like a finger.
Like a
that's kinda
Cheeto
like
puff?
that.
I love Cheeto puffs. They're so yummy. The Brachialis Victor.
Your favorite muscle. That's funny.
Phalanges.
But I don't know all the muscles really in depth.
No, I don't either.
Like I'm not a
We just know
I'm
the
not
basics.
a doctor or anything. You know, it's just the basics for figure drawing.
So some people ask about how to draw eyes, and I would categorize eyes into 3 different categories, and then you can always add more categories later. So like eye shapes that are round, well, generally have a lot of round curves, and they can be very big. You know, you can do this. It's very, very generic eye. Here's like the corner of your eyes. Here's the edge of your eye. It's just all rounded out, right? So the main thing about eyes and how to change different eye shapes is using this as a base, and then you're just, as Colton was talking about earlier with noses, you're just pushing different vertices. Vertebrae? I was gonna say vertebrae, but that's not good. So yeah, you're just pushing things and morphing things around. So like, you know, you can make a more narrow, roundish eye like this. You just push it down, you squeeze it, and that will change that, you know, and that will create a totally different eye shape.
Have hard time with folds and shading in clothes. Is that what they talked about last stream?
Yeah, we did.
How much of that is in here? Did you talk about shading clothes?
I don't think we talked about shading.
Not really.
Not really shading clothes.
Shading clothes is all about understanding what forms are happening. You can't shade something if you don't understand the form of it.
Yeah, let's find, you know, something what Colton was doing was something like this.
Well, that's not clothes.
Yeah.
Those are
It's
cylinders.
not.
But
Right.
cylinders are how clothes fold generally.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back to Link. It's been a while since we've done clothing rendering. And that's not really rendered.
Well, I think I might have some renderings in there.
Let's look.
Well,
Nothing.
Oh, let me see here. Yeah. Well, I
Nothing
got
in
this,
there.
but
Yeah. Generally with rendering clothes, you're going to separate the lights and the darks. So you're going to have, you know, your lights and your shadows.
side and shadow side.
Assuming it's not like super soft lighting.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all going to be cylinders. It's all going to be rendered cylinders, basically.
Yeah. Oh, I guess I can show a process for how I work for shading clothes.
There's not really much here.
Yeah.
You'd have to go way back, like months and months.
So this is what I did here. This is a demo that I did in anime art school where we shade and color clothes. And this is the process that I would use. You would start off with a sketch, just like this, and then you would fill in your base colors, your base tone, whatever that you need. After that, you would fill in your darks, which just so you have your lights and your darks ready. And then you would have everything in between. So that means, you know, your kind of like your medium lights, your very, very dark darks. You know, here I added just some extra stuff. Here's where I started to push the lights a little bit more. You're just thinking about these things all like super, like in a procedural way.
Yeah, it's very process driven.
Right? Yeah. And these are all like cylinders. Cylinder. This part right here, oh, that's rendered like a cylinder. So that's the process that I use and what I help you guys go through for just rendering clothes in general.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing here, same process.
And
Flats.
do a bunch of studies, for
Yep.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots of studies.
This drawing app is Procreate.
Where the heck are the old drawing,
Um,
old clothing rendering stuff?
It's
Probably even before that.
that one.
That one's pretty good.
That one's pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's a really old demo
It is
on
very
stream.
old. But it works. It checks
Yeah,
out. You
it's
can still
really-
read it.
It's really the same thing. Like the process of rendering clothes would be you draw the body underneath first as a mannequin, then you draw the clothes on top with their forms, then you drop in the base color, and depending on if it's mostly dark or mostly light, you'd either start with dark or light, but assuming it's like mostly light, you'd start with your lights, then you'd add the graphic shapes of your shadows, and then you would basically put in the in-between values, so like rendering them.
Yeah.
It'd be yeah, and I would say triangles is good. Triangles is
good.
great. You get a lot of triangles in
Like,
clothes.
All this stuff here is like they're like all triangles, but not
Yeah.
every fold
So
is a triangle.
The folds, yes, a lot of the time folds in clothing will become rounded triangles for sure. So
Yeah.
like, and triangles are probably one of the most useful shapes you can possibly use when it comes to placing things. Like you can always triangulate.
Mm-hmm.
You can triangulate the position of things.
Here's some. Oh, there's
Not much rendering
some.
in
Not
there
much
either.
rendering. There's this. This is
Yeah,
very
there's
old.
some-
But like,
kind of thing.
there's areas where I shade a little bit flatter, and that's when I would focus on like flatter shapes, like the triangles. Like this is triangle, this is triangle. But then on areas where I see the form turning, I render it more like a cylinder. So like then you'll see more, you know, defined form shadows. Like even like this, for example. Let me try to find a better. Oh yeah, this one's pretty good. Cylinder, and then there's some triangles, or these little pockets of more flat shadows. And it also will depend on the type of material. So like this material does not look the same as this one right here. This one's more like cotton because it's like not as super reflective, even though there's a harsh light source right here. This one, satin or silk, whichever it is, because generally the areas where there's bunching or it comes to like the center will generally have a highlight. So that's very characteristic of satin.
Is that Jake? Probably.
That was.
I
did show Jake.
I don't know. Maybe we'll probably see it some other year.
How does shading color change depending on the materials? Like satin would be different than cotton. So satin will have more of like an iridescent vibe. So like you'll see more of like a pearlescent. So for instance, if you have like this kind of material, you'll generally see some reds in there mixed with like a warmish gray.
Where was that fluffy demo you did recently?
The fluffy
Remember
demo.
like the little bunny thing?
Oh.
Where was that? Was that in this one? I think that probably was in this one.
I think it got
Was
removed.
What about the top layer? There's a top layer. I don't know where that was. It in that day?
It looks like it would be in that day. Yeah, I think it got removed.
I don't know. So Rose with the heavy jacket made of leather but a bit fluffy inside. You would render the outside as leather and you would render the inside as fluffy.
Yeah.
Do we just draw triangles at tension points? No, it's not really as simple as that, but it does tend to happen a lot.
Like leather.
You tend to get radiating lines from tension points.
Like here's a leather. Here's like the fluffy part of like a leather jacket.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, that would be rendered separately or indifferently than a leather jacket.
Yeah, it'd be like a multi-material render. I find that a lot of students and beginners don't really consider differences in materials. They sort of teach everything, or they sort of draw everything the same as if it's just all made out of one material. In the course, do you guys teach shapes and forms? Yes, I teach a lot of form drawing. There's an entire 14-week perspective class.
That's very good. So I'm gonna have like multiple areas that's fluffy.
I'm happy to show you some of that stuff in that class, by the way.
Yeah, you want to show it now?
Sure.
Here you go.
And then what are you gonna render or something?
I'll render.
Why is the brightness so low on
I
this
don't
mini?
know.
Maybe it's just part of how the mini is. But yeah, we teach a lot of that kind of stuff, or rather, I do because I teach that class. So there's a lot of stuff on drawing objects from different angles, rotating them in your mind and imagination. Exercises for form exercises. This is another form exercise. So of course I teach 1, 2, and 3-point perspective and all the basics of that too. It's just not on the iPad. Those are earlier weeks. I teach form drawing, how to cut into and round off forms and draw them with cross sections. This is like industrial design stuff. Here is more stuff on drawing things simply, breaking them into sections, putting them together, and then here's that put together, and here it is rounded off. So this is all constructed. This is not like, I mean, this is drawn in perspective from scratch. So I teach stuff like that in the class. Here's other stuff, how to think about environments, layering, overlaps. I did this for a long time for work. I was a background and environment concept artist for games. And so this kind of stuff I did professionally for a pretty long time. So all that kind of stuff. You know, how to break down plants into simple forms, radiating, all that kind of stuff. The iPad hates images for some reason. Little cactus and stuff. That's all form. That's all in the form drawing class. Here's another piece, which is like making a blocky body, drawing it the same pose from front and back, turning this body into a figure like this, front and back, and then taking that figure and adding clothes and a face and all that sort of thing. And this is in the perspective class. This isn't even in the figure drawing class. The figure drawing class has a lot of stuff.
I can never understand how to put folds and shadows. Lucky for you, we teach that anime art school too.
Yeah. Every question y'all ask is
it's all
also
in anime
our
art
classes.
school.
So if you wanna do that, you know where to get it.
Yep. Which is on our website.
Somewhat of a beginner. Totally fine.
That's totally fine. Where can I find the class? Here, drawanime.com, that's our website, and it is Anime Art School, which is the yellow button.
Yeah.
You'll find all information and all about the classes there.
Yeah, and you'll see all this stuff on there as well as a lot more. We don't actually have everything. We don't have everything on the iPad.
Yeah.
We just have kind of like the spark notes of what we cover.
So someone is asking about, like, you know, how folds are created, and a lot of it is coming from tension and compression points. So like from here, these little X's here, they're tension. It's part where the cloth is being held, and that will create folds. And any time that there's excess fabric, it will compress, which means it'll bunch up together, and it'll kind of look like this. This is a diaper fold, where there's 2 tension points, and then there's compression in the middle. We covered the 7 basic folds too. So here's another example. Tension points, tension point, which is, you know, common area, which is the chest, and then you got your tension, 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 then compression. You know, all these folds that are like more like diamond shapes, for example, can be compression. And that's, you know, putting clothes on mannequins, right? And then if you want to shade it, it all depends on your light source, of course, but for instance, let me see here. What I would do to find shadows is in the cloth is I would organize things, right? So like, let's say I have a shirt in here, and I want to shade it. Not every fold will have a shadow. You're generally going to see masses of shadow. So very rarely, unless it's like a specific lighting scenario, will you see this.
Yeah, very
rarely. Unless it's like a very specific lighting scenario, you would see this. But for the most part, light likes to. Even that doesn't look that good.
Even then, like, in order to get lighting like that, you would have to have really, really soft lighting.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't get shadows that harsh. It would be really subtle, and so you'd value group it.
Yep. So instead, you would actually see shadows being grouped together. So like, let's see, my light source is up here. And here's my lit side, here's my shadow side. So like, sometimes you actually see shadows looking like this. Let me design this a little bit better. You'll see a group like this. And that actually makes things a lot simpler, right? Now it actually, you know, looks more convincing than what I showed earlier, because that's how light and shadow likes to behave on clothes. Because, you know, if it were what I showed you earlier, it would be too confusing. I might have an example on my ArtStation of how I did it too. You see, yeah, this is pretty good. So like, for instance, this one right here is a study that I did. And all I did here was I squinted and I looked at all the shapes that the shadows created. This is a shape. Even though I have all these little bound slide and stuff in there, this is generally a shadow area. You know, all this is shadow. This is all grouped together. So there's a clear separation of light and dark. And then there's also areas where, you know, if there's a compression fold, there's going to be some shadows in these little crevices. And then what's going to happen is you'll have this. You'll have one crevice after another, like little pockets, and then you'll end up having these little outside bits that are lighter, and that also creates depth, right? That implies more there's more stuff going on the surface, right, than just the shadows. So it's just trying to find things graphically in terms of light and shadow, and that generally helps me a lot. And then you can always find the other shadows in between, but I would keep the light and dark pretty separate. And only then, once I have a clear read of my light and shadow, I would add in more like subtler shadows. But that wouldn't take away from my main light source, if that makes sense. So, I wanted to render this really quick on how to do a leather jacket with a bit of fluff. And this is a great example. Here is leather on the majority of this jacket, and then there's a bit of fuzz. And of course, these don't have really any similarities in the light and shadow. Whoa, hold up one second. Texture-wise, it's very different. You got a lot of fuzz, a lot of soft textures, not a lot of harsh shadows at all. So like, what I would do is I would render it separately. I would first mask out everything in the leather as dark, because that's, you know, if you want it to be very contrasty, then I would have like dark leather, for example. So just masking it out value-wise. So now there's clear contrast between light and dark. This is my lighter cloth or material, this is my darker material. And then I'll go in and just say, okay, how are the folds behaving? There's not a lot of light coming through. I mean, unless you look on this side, so maybe we'll do something like this. You'll see here a large, massive shadow. Large, massive shadow. Not a lot of highlights, not very bright highlights at all. And a lot of these shadows would appear in here, like towards the crevices of the arm. A little bit towards the shoulder and going downward, but keep it very simple, right? It's not meant to be super detailed or anything. And then this is very characteristic of leather jackets, is this swirly pattern right here. So there's going to be dark, dark, and inside is going to be light.
The zigzagging? Swirly pattern? Zigzags?
Yeah, the zigzags.
Yeah.
Yep. The zigzag. Right in here. It's very, very distinct. This is the brightest part of leather, generally. Like, if you even squint, this is the lightest part. Everything else is dark. So what I would even do is just shade everything dark and then leave a little bit of light so that this can read, right? Same thing here. A little bit of dark, dark, and keep the dark pretty dark as well. You don't want to cause confusion. So now it's starting to look more like leather, right? And I'm keeping the shadows also pretty soft. Not a lot of sharp shadows unless the lighting calls for it. But this is how I would study it, you know? In fact, I would even make all of this much darker. Just kind of keep it more organized. And then later on, I would go in and darken the very, very darks, like these little crevices in here, and in here, and in here. So there's my leather. And then I would render the soft part separately. And at this point, I'd be like, okay, I'll squint. Very, very soft shadows. Not a lot of contrast at all. It's like basically two values, meaning one light and one dark. And so what I would do is I would show my shadows and I would imply the texture through the shadows, keeping it very soft and almost like a stippling texture. You know, if this is too dark, I lighten it. But I would just limit it just to that. Now it looks very soft. Soft versus leather, right? If I go too dark, it's not gonna look believable anymore. So just try to manage your values in a more organized way. This can get very dark, but not a lot of light. This can be very light, but not a lot of dark. So that's how I break it down.
Heavy materials cause less wrinkles and lightweight is more wrinkles. It's more about the thickness of the material generally. Heavier materials tend to have less wrinkles and rounder. Thin materials tend to be more crinkly. But you don't really need to draw all of the wrinkles of a thinner material. Just imply, like, you can use different techniques to imply the thinness. Say, you can use line weight, the thickness of your lines. You can use, you can make the values a lot less contrasty, a little bit more subtle. You basically, artists have tools in their toolbox, and so you can show information using different tools. So it just depends on what tool you want to use. Do you want to use line weight? Do you want to use value? Do you want to use contrast of some sort? Generally, it's going to be based on contrast. Like, contrast grabs people's attention. So, you know, contrast of color, contrast of value, contrast of, like, what is it? Contrast of shape. Contrast of pretty much any of the principles.
Yep. So, like, look at this, for example. This is more of like a colored, you know, your not crispy, what am I talking about? It's like a collared shirt that is for like a business shirt or a business uniform or whatever it is. Very, very sharp edges. So that means I would have a lot of triangles. Generally, you know, once again, you can always change things up. But this kind of fabric likes to have a lot of diamonds and triangles, especially towards this bottom area where it's like being tucked in to like a belt, and also this area right here. So I'm also selecting where I want to place my folds. I want to place my folds in areas where there's a lot of motion or there's a lot of areas of tension. For example, if I know that my shirt is going to be tucked in, I want my folds to be facing downwards. I want them to start from the shoulder and then go diagonally downward, because that's an eye path. For instance, if I have, you know, an arm bending, this part's going to have a lot of folds. This part might not have as much folds, but I don't have to draw every fold as Colton said earlier, right? So that can help with eliminating an excess amount of folds or getting too overwhelmed with it, right? A collar, I know that someone was talking about collars earlier. A collar is basically just like you just curve a sheet of paper, just like this. And then you would show the sides coming towards you, and then after that you would just draw a little triangle. And this is the bottom side of the collar.
Where the tension and compression points on that, the drawing she's doing, same as almost always. Shoulders.
Generally.
Elbows.
Almost always shoulders, elbow.
Anytime a form bends, you're generally going to get a compression.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime the fabric wants to fall down, but something's keeping it from doing so, you'll get a tension point, generally.
Almost always the shoulders are going to be a tension point. I don't think there's ever going to be an instance where it's not a tension point.
Yeah, unless the person's like upside down.
Yeah.
Like you get really rare exceptions where shoulders are not tension points, unless you're doing like this, in which case the tension point would be
your
the
fingers.
fingers.
Yep. Thank you. There's another bow. Thank you. Let's see. We work really hard in trying to explain things. Sometimes I feel like my explanations aren't really all that good, and I'll be like, oh crap, I'm stumbling on my words here. But I'm glad that you think so. How to draw a male head. Here, you can have some of this for reference. We've 3D printed these, this male head here, along with some other ones. Not this one. This one right here. Male heads, it depends on what kind you want to draw. If you want to draw like a teenage male head or an adult, they will look very different. Teenage male heads will tend to be rounder, but with a bit of a sharp point at the bottom. Male adult heads will tend to have more of like the skull features in it. So I would say understand the skull, but also understand how to simplify the head into a sphere and a box. And learning how the features affect the forms of the side profile, for example. Like, the forehead comes out, then goes in because this is the bridge of the nose, or this is the glabella. Then the nose comes out, then goes back in, and then out comes the lips, right? And so all this plays a factor when you're drawing heads. How do you shade clothing? I was late. If you want to rewind, we actually just covered some shading on clothes. If you want to rewind, you can go check out our YouTube channel. We're also live on there, and it's a VOD. So yeah, you can check out when I shaded this. It's not really that long ago, actually.
Just a couple minutes.
Just a couple minutes early.
Sorry guys, I'm shading clothes.
Yeah, it's okay. Moonlight says that they got news. Guys, guess what? You guys are my biggest inspiration, and your tutorials help me, so I have to share this with you. Awesome. Well, feel free to share it. I got accepted to be an artist in a series. Thank you so much. Oh, wow. Congratulations. Awesome.
That's great. Congrats.
Yeah. That is great. That is awesome. I'm so glad that you got it.
That's super fun.
Yeah.
You can post more about that in the Discord if you want.
Yeah, I would love to see it.
Take a look at it.
What kind of series? Is it like a manhwa or something? Or is it like a project, like a game or comic? That'd be awesome to hear.
Guys, watercolor's hard.
It is hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice brush, though. Looks really good.
Brush?
Yeah, your brush.
I love this. This is the brush you use all the time. It's the same one.
It's a similar one, yeah.
It's literally the same.
Where's the Discord? You can get the Discord on our website, drawanime.com. It's literally like a purple button, and you can see the invite link and all that stuff there.
Yep. So I'm locked in.
Mm-hmm. So, a side profile between a male and a female, it will generally have pretty similar features. Obviously, I mean, you all have the eyes, nose, and a mouth. The only difference is the way how you execute it. So, is that how you say it, I guess?
Huh?
No. I was going to say execute, but I guess that is the word.
I wasn't paying attention, so
no,
I
it's
don't
fine.
know.
It's fine. So I would say for male side profiles, if you want to draw an adult, understand your proportions, right? Your features. Here's halfway is your eyes. A little bit above that is your brow ridge. Take the brow ridge, and halfway is the nose, the bottom of the nose. You can also divide the head into thirds. The first third is your brow. The second third is your nose. So you can also think about it like that. So here goes in, comes out, goes in. Your lips will come out pretty soon after the bottom of your nose, and it will generally, the upper lip will overlap and appear farther, come out farther than the lower lip. And then your jaw will generally be a little bit more angular. Right, so that's a male side profile. And, you know, you can always change things up. You know, you can make the jaw much more chiseled. You can make it softer. You can make it whatever you want. Right, but this is all based off of the skull. This is all based off of how the head planes and the features affect what comes out and goes in. And then when you're drawing the female, it's the same thing. The only difference is that you are going to change the level of angularity, I guess, in the features. So for instance, the features for the female may be a lot rounder and smoother. So the keystone corner, here you go. So the keystone corner of your female character may be much more graceful, and same thing with the lips. Your jaw may not be as angular. It can have a softer curve instead. Right? So here's more angular curve, here's a softer curve. And that feels more feminine because you're seeing more of like a slightly flatter face. And you're not seeing as much, you know, definition. Now, of course, if you want to make someone more, you know, stern and more I guess, like more masculine for a female character, you can definitely push this forehead out and chisel that in. So now automatically that looks more masculine. Totally up to you. I have a character who has that vibe, and I tend to make her forehead and bridge of the nose more sharper, but then I keep the rest pretty smooth. So that's what I do. I make the neck look normal from the side profile. Well, good news. Basically, it does not start like this. That is... No. Don't do that. Your back of the head comes out. And then from this point right here, you would angle the neck so that the head is actually coming outwards instead. So rather than super straight neck, it's angled. Same thing on the bottom side. Angled. Like that, generally. Very rarely will you see the neck go straight down like this, unless like maybe the character's going like...
Unless someone touched their neck.
Unless someone touched me. Don't touch me. Totally fine. But the neck actually likes to angle out. I don't know what direction it is. I guess out a bit more. Because it's a spine. It's a cervical spine, right? Your cervical spine goes this way, not straight up. So here's your cervical spine. Here's your thoracic spine. Here's your lumbar spine. This is a side view. And so that's why your neck comes out more than it is straight. Whenever I get the money and the chance, I'm joining your academy. Oh, thanks, awesome. Moonlight. Thank you.
Can't wait to
have you as a student.
Yeah, have you as a student.
Yeah.
All right, I did a little watercolor clothing study. So hopefully that helped. Here, look, male, female. Now I made this guy very, very bony, so I'm gonna take that out and make him more handsome, more not like he's on a starvation diet. I've inspired. I've been inspired.
You've been inspired?
Yeah. There's my watercolor clothing study.
So pretty. It looks really good. Oh, I love how you did the softness and the gradient in there.
I tried to get a gradient in there.
It looks... Yeah, I think you did it very successfully.
I like watercolor. It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Starvation diet. For real. We need to put Applejack on a diet, bro. Look at this guy. That's an odd...
baby. His head's down there, by the way.
Yeah, you're so cute.
Come on, lift your head, Applejack. Unless he's
He
like
is
zonked
zonked
out.
out.
I don't know. You barely did anything today, Applejack.
He is so tired after a long day of doing absolutely nothing.
My cat's fatter. Hey, Laura.
15-pounder.
Yeah, he's 15 pounds. But he's been maintaining, since we put him on a smaller diet. We've been free feeding, and we realized that it wasn't going to work out with Applejack because
Yeah.
he likes to eat.
Nope.
Nope.
Talk about different types of eyes. I can't really comprehend Asian eyes.
Asian eyes?
There's definitely different people, or there's definitely different ways that artists kind of show Asian eyes in kind of like anime manga style.
Yeah, I know that.
There's like really kind of loosely implied ones, and then very
Yeah.
like literal.
Yeah, like loosely implied is like you just make the eyes more narrow and make this part like more.
28-pound cat,
Oh
not
my.
mine. Wow.
Why the name Applejack? His name was Applejack because he came in with a bunch of other cats and they named them all after cereal because that's kind
Yeah.
of how they do the naming process. And we couldn't really find another name better than Applejack, so we just kept it.
Yeah, there was Raisin Bran and Frosted Flakes and Apple Jacks and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we never came up with a name. We're just like, it just became Applejack. So.
Yep. Oh, and then another thing about Asian eyes is sometimes they don't have a lid, like an eyelid. So sometimes if you just don't add an eyelid like this, it won't. It will look more Asian.
Nice. He's a
So
silly
yeah,
guy, though.
monolid. No, not like the pony. It's a cereal. I gotta get water real quick. Chatta.
Allow me to ignore you as I draw, as I watercolor. The cat is like 30 pounds. That is wild. We used to hang out with John Paul and Hannah. Some of you remember them. We streamed with them. John Paul had a cat that was super mega fat, and they changed the cat food, and all of a sudden it went all the way back down. In a way, we like saw the cat. We were like, "What? Is this really the same kitty?" So I'm working on a little bit of watercolor here. I'm just adding some of the darker areas in here. Something to look at while we wait for Christina.
So pretty.
There we go.
I love how you
Christina's got way more experience with watercolor than I do, but I feel like it turned out okay.
Oh, I think it turned out great. You're basically on par. Wow.
There you go.
Wow, that's so soft and nice. My cat only has a little bit of chunk. Why are y'all so massive? I don't know. I think it's just his body type.
Well, he got neutered
Yes.
before we got him, and they told us at the right before we got him, and they told us he's probably going to go up in weight a good amount after we take him home, because he was a what's the term? Stud.
He was
He has many children. Let's just say
the
that.
father of many. He was an absolute unit.
He is the bane of rescue. He is the ultimate villain of animal rescues because he's the problem. They're always so swamped. He's the reason
He's one of the reasons why they're always so swamped, because they always keep having babies.
why my drawing always looked flat. You're probably not adding very much to imply depth.
Yeah.
So overlaps are going to be your best way to do that.
For instance, if your body looks like this, let me actually make a nicer looking pose, because your drawing may look way better than this. If you find that your drawing is mostly just a bunch of outlines and it looks flat like this, just adding a few things like, bit of that overlap, or the bit of that form line.
Yeah.
Oh, here's an overlap, like that.
I would definitely agree with that, Slay, but it's even more primitive than that a lot of the time. Like, adding depth to something is literally as simple as doing that. Oops, you can't see it. So this is flat, this has depth. It's literally as simple as that. Depth. So if you find that your drawings lack form and they feel flat, there's a lot of different ways. So like, for example, this is a really good example. This is flat right here. This will automatically have depth just due to overlaps. So this right here is flat, and that's a bad arrow. What the heck?
Look at the little M.
And then this one right here has depth to it just because of overlaps. And that is basically perspective, but you don't have to use any vanishing points or anything. Also, if you're drawing a cylinder, this is not a cylinder. This is not a cylinder. This is a cylinder. You can only tell cylinders by wrapping lines or by the end caps. So, cylinder, cylinder, overlap, depth. And you can add the shirt sleeve in there.
That's an overlap.
And that's an overlap.
Can you really overuse overlaps though?
I
mean, if it's not designed in a good way,
not really.
I can see why it's jarring. I would be more.
I wouldn't say you could use overlaps. Maybe they're just not doing a good enough job at hiding them.
Yeah.
But I can't say without actually seeing any of their work.
Yeah.
I don't think there is. I mean, I remember I was looking at an illustration and I counted like well over like hundreds of overlaps in their piece. Like every single time something goes in front of another, it's an overlap.
Mm-hmm.
But that will help you a lot. So for example, if you're drawing, I don't know, like a skirt. I don't have a brush. If you're drawing like a skirt, even just adding
fancy.
that to the sides can
overlap.
help give overlaps, right? Obviously, there's nothing going on in here, but if you add little overlaps to the sides, if you draw a cylinder, you can draw things going over the surface. Like that. That'll give depth. That will describe the form of your cylinder.
Mm-hmm.
So these are tricks that artists use to trick us into thinking there's dimensionality to art.
And what I would do as well is if there's like a gauntlet, for example, or like maybe your character's wrist has a bunch of ropes tied around their wrist for like protection or something, rather than like, yeah, you can have it wrapping around, but if I don't see it going over the form like this, it's not going to feel like rope, or it's not going to feel like something thick.
Yeah, everything's got thickness to
Everything's
them.
got thickness to them, even if it's like, even a sliver of paper has
just a
some
tiny
thickness.
bit. And we like to call these hooks. This little shape right here, we call it a hook. I don't know if that's what other people call them, but it's like a little, our pirate hook.
Yeah.
You see them everywhere. You see them absolutely everywhere. Anything that goes behind something else basically has a hook. Anything that like crosses over and goes behind will pretty much have a hook.
Yeah. I can add rope texture. Oh, I'm drawing super small again. I can see why you draw so small. It's actually kind of fun drawing small. So like, and not only that, but once you add the overlaps, then your overall shape of the drawing actually becomes more interesting, because you got all these little nooks and crannies that are actually very interesting to look at, rather than just something very flat, right? So yeah, just try experiment with this. I would say be careful with doing ribbons like this though, because that obviously will not be the right material. But
Ribbons like what?
Ribbons, like if you're gonna overlap ribbons like this, then you don't have to overlap them so hard.
Oh yeah, ribbons tend to be
very thin, very
yeah.
what's it called? Like skin tight, because it is wrapping pretty closely. So just differentiating between the materials helps a lot.
I saw someone earlier asked if we were going live tomorrow. Yeah, I think we plan on it.
I think we plan on it.
We are planning on going live tomorrow, yeah.
Here's the flip. There we go.
No, I mean, ribbons, at the end of the day, like, you can just draw them basically as, like, two-dimensional...
Ooh, fancy. Ooh, move that over a bit.
Like that one. You can draw a ribbon like this.
Ooh, it looks like a snake too.
Just kind of two lines. Did half that get drawn off screen?
Most of it got drawn on screen.
Okay.
Just the little tail end didn't get drawn on the screen. Been struggling with for no reason. Honestly, once you have an epiphany, you can't go back. So I think it's great that you figured it out. Hey, Lunas. Overlaps the forearm with a higher arm. You mean like the upper arm?
Huh?
And that happens a lot.
I'm
I'm
see
not
where
sure
you're
exactly.
reading.
Oh, just there.
Oh.
I don't think overlaps are bad. It just depends on how you design it.
Yeah, you can't overuse overlaps. It would be, I would say, if it looks like there's too many overlaps, it would be a failure to direct the viewer's attention to where they need to look. It's probably more of a fundamental design problem than too much of this. It's like saying too much red in an image. It's like you can't really have too much of a color in an image. Just like, I mean, it could be a monochromatic piece and the only color is that.
Yeah.
If it would be maybe too much, it would feel like maybe too much red, or it would feel like too many overlaps if they're not doing a good job at, say, directing your attention and you're getting distracted. But that would be a design issue. That wouldn't be a too much of something issue, really. Because it's
Do you mean like, so he doesn't understand anatomy? Then maybe he's not overlapping it correctly. Maybe that's what it is.
Would probably be like incorrect overlaps or something. I should do more studies like this, bro. I should just fill up this whole sketchbook with these.
Someone's asking more examples of how to render clothes, different kinds of clothes. I think this is fun. I like this one. I feel like, I don't know, if you want to practice shading clothes, find articles of outfits that are one, different textures, like two different textures, and two different values. So this is a great example because this is a light cotton shirt that's very, very light, low contrast, and this is a jean. These are jeans, right? And so that has, very different value and also very different texture. And that would give you an exercise of be like, okay, how different are these folds in comparison to these ones? And so I really like looking at these kind of studies or these kind of images to study from, because it's like exercising your brain, right?
Yeah. If I just draw anime from Pinterest, will that help me improve my drawing as a beginner? Yeah, you'll get better. You mean like studying artwork from Pinterest? And secondly, what are your goals? Because that's pretty important.
Yeah.
What are your goals? What do you want to be able to do? And I would say if you want to figure out how to get better at what is your first question? Like, what do you want to get better at? And then that will kind of determine the path that you should probably take. But you'll absolutely get better. I remember when I was very first starting drawing, like, more seriously, I was like a sophomore in high school. I think I was 15. And I just found anime art online. Like, in my brain, like, didn't even register them as drawings, like, as someone's art. It'd be like a promotional artwork for like an anime or something. And I would like copy them in my sketchbook. And I didn't post it anywhere. I had no social media. I was just like, oh, that's cool. And I just like try to draw it. I didn't even know that like drawing something from my imagination was a thing. And then obviously things have evolved a lot since then. Do you paper-like screen protector? No, this is from a brand called Pen Tips. We've never used the paper-like one. We should probably get one just to see what it's like.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
So another thing about shading and rendering clothes is that it's not about the shadows and all that stuff. Like, that stuff is generally pretty easy. It's the drawing part that may be an issue. If you don't really know how the folds are going, around the form, and you don't really know how to draw it, it's very hard to render because you're like, what is this even supposed to look like, right?
This is the iPad Pro 13-inch.
Yes.
Eats the tip of your Apple Pencil. That's what I've heard. You know what also eats? The lead paper.
Yep.
Everything that has friction between it is going to disappear over time. It's worth it. I would rather buy a whole pack of Apple Pencil tips than draw without a screen protector.
That's a very bold claim, too.
Oh my gosh, I literally would not draw on an iPad without some sort of a screen protector because it's just too slippery.
It really is.
I'd never want to draw on an iPad without some sort of some sort of a protector or something.
Yeah.
You hate me and my phone? No, it's personal. I don't care what you use.
Nice drawing so far. I'm kind of annoyed that there's no foot, so I'm gonna crop and resize.
Your screen has cracks on it, which chips away on the tip. My phone used to have cracks on it, and it would always shave the dead skin off my finger.
Oh, the dead skin off your finger.
Yeah, too much doom scrolling equals no more tip of your finger.
You're gonna erase your fingerprints.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what I would start with when I'm shading clothes. I try to draw the really important folds, like this fold right here, these folds right here, because that will affect the drawing. This one right here, this one especially, and a seam line. And this drawing is to help me to render. So I'm basically trying to get all the information that I can, so that when I start rendering, I don't have to be like, how does this work again?
Yeah.
Right?
And notice how she's ignoring everything except the most important folds as well.
This part.
Like, back of the knee, ankle, bend of the torso. You get a big fold.
Yep.
Right there. And then lines lead to those places from tension points.
Yep.
So the shoulders, you got lines, either straight or swooping, that will go to that point of compression, generally. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, you got, like, half locks and stuff going on in the back of the knee. And let me guess, the second thing you're going to do is separate your light and dark.
Yeah.
Or rather, base color,
yeah,
but I don't
base
even
tone.
consider that as a step, really, because
it's kind of a given.
It's so given, like, you got to color it in with something, but...
Yeah.
Second, separate light and dark.
Yep. Block it in. And this, even though this is my lightest light, I'm going to shade as if it was this tone instead. Because adding lights is actually easier with an article of clothing that's mostly in shadow and a little bit of light. So I'm just going to shade this just a little bit.
How would someone try and get out of art block? There's a lot of ways. It depends on what's causing your art block, but I would say tackle a new subject matter. Try something new. Go into a new subject entirely without any expectations. Like, if you never drew animals before, start drawing animals.
Yeah.
If you've never drawn people before, start drawing people. Try drawing in a different style. Go in with no expectations at all, and you might actually enjoy something new. And you'll also have a really steep learning curve because it's a new subject, and you'll learn a lot really fast. And so it also gives you a motivation boost. But that won't help art block if art block is from, like, stuff going on in your life that's making you depressed, or, like, there's so many different reasons you could not feel like drawing or not know what to draw. Mm-hmm. There's no, like, one answer.
So all I did here was I just shaded all this in a simple tone, and I just literally erased out the shadows and then just put in my lights. So I noticed that there's a light area right in here, there's light in here and here, and I just separated it out. It's that easy. And obviously this is just a sketch, so I wouldn't really necessarily recommend doing this, but if it's just something quick, I don't really care. But, you know, it can be as simple as that. You know, you can do it with, like, a more complicated, like, base color and stuff. The same concept still applies. You're just carving it out. And then here, I'm like, okay, where's my darks? My dark is in here, in these pockets, because that's generally where folds like to be in shadow, is like these little pockets right in here. Here's another one. Here's another one. And based on my lighting scenario, I know that my light is coming from something like this. This is where my light is generally coming from, because this side is lit, this side is dark. You know, I could be wrong, but that's gonna be my first best guess. And all this, as it's tucking into this cloth, will be dark. Right. And this is where I can accentuate my darker darks or any highlights. But I'm gonna keep the integrity of this cloth, like, or material, pretty consistent. I'm not gonna go and try to over detail or anything. I just want my lights and my darks ready. And that's how I generally would start a render, or just a study of clothing. And then anything that I need to do after that is more like I would take my time on. But this is a general start.
Bye-bye, Saf.
Bye, Saf.
Do you have any tips to not abandon art when you feel frustrated because of it not getting it right? Art is a process, and it's more about showing up than it is getting it right. You know, it's just the way that art is, like, permanently. You're always pretty much, there's going to be a lot of times where you're not satisfied with how something turns out, and that's totally fine. I would say consider it a win if you show up and do it. If you show up and do it, it's a win. It's not like you can't control how something turns out, so try to not let your emotions be too attached to something that's outside of your control. Like, you can control if you show up, if you do the art, if you draw it. What you can't control is how it turns out. Like, you do your best and it won't turn out. That's not something that's within your power to control. That just comes with time and practice and, you know, learning. So yeah, try to detach your emotional state from things that you can't control.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you will tend to find that you'll just be thrown around by emotions your entire life based on whatever kind of happens to happen. And be forgiving with yourself as well. Like, it's a thing that takes a long time to learn. It's a really difficult thing.
The texture a brush. This looks incredible. Thank you.
Texture?
If you're talking about the texture of this, of all this, yeah, this is part of the brush, which you can get on our website, drawanime.com.
For free.
For free.
Yeah, it's a free brush.
Button.
We just have the download available.
I don't want to be pro. I just want to draw well enough.
The Pinterest studies or the anime from Pinterest.
I guess
mean,
so.
it depends. Like, that's totally up to you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it generally. Like, I would do it as a focused study. But it's just up to you. I mean, if you want to learn how to draw the type of stuff that you see on Pinterest, then
that's totally fine.
Then you can study it and practice it. That's not how we teach stuff. We're more of a foundation focused. You're kind of gonna have to figure that out yourself. I wouldn't teach that way. We're a foundation school, so we teach people, you know, the foundations of art, like perspective, design, clothing and costume drawing, figure drawing, kind of like what you'd learn in a college or what you'd learn in a design school. That's our background. We went to design school. We have a background in, you know, design and art and learning foundations. I don't want to say the word properly, but kind of like academically. And so that's how we teach. I've seen amazing results with it. Time and time again. It's very consistent at getting people to a professional level at art, and it has very little to do with the individual. It has more to do with the process and the time that's put in.
When will I be on Draw Anime Academy? What does that mean?
I don't even know what that means.
Do you mean like in our school?
Yeah, it's a nice brush.
Yeah,
It's
it is a very nice brush. Tips on learning anatomy for the first time.
Learn figure drawing.
Learn figure drawing.
If you're learning anatomy and you don't know the proportions, or if you can't construct the proportions of a figure, you're going to be putting muscles. You're going to be trying to put muscles on bodies that aren't the right size and aren't going in the right direction. Do you want to show an example of like a process for figure drawing? So if you're just starting to learn how to draw people, I would say use a process. So for example, here's a process. This is a pretty standard process you'd learn in most figure drawing classes. This is gesture and proportion. This is the phase where you add volumes, like where things are going in 3D space. And then on top of that, you would add the muscles like this. So a lot of people start with the third part before they start with the first and second part. And it kind of ends in disaster a lot of the time, and they get really depressed, and it's not their fault. It's just because the process, a good process, is not being used. I'd recommend taking a figure drawing class. They teach anatomy as well, but they teach you anatomy that is put on a solid foundation.
Yes.
Like that sort of thing. Michael Hampton teaches good figure drawing class. He has a YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. We have a couple videos on figure drawing that kind of teach you that general process. You can take paid classes. We have a 12-week figure drawing class in our anime art school. But yeah, it's just figure drawing. Any figure drawing class with a decent teacher. I can't, like, you're just gonna have to find people who know what they're doing if you want to take like a live or recorded class. There's a lot of good classes out there. Will Weston. You can just write a couple of them down, honestly.
Sure.
So we've got Will Weston. He teaches figure drawing. Michael Hampton. He teaches figure drawing. Really, really good. Michael Hampton. We've got Glenn Vilppu. He's kind of like an OG. Vilppu, I think. We've got Michael Hampton has a book as well. It's really good. Kirk Shinmoto. He's a great teacher as well. Kirk, Shinmoto. He's a teacher that I took a figure drawing class from. Super good. Who else? I mean, those are 4 right there. I would say Morpho, but that's not really a figure drawing book. It's more of an anatomy book. Charlie Kirk, huh? I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is.
Do you have an ebook version of your books? Just volume 1.
Oh, Proco's pretty good.
Proco, yeah, Proco's good. He has a solid figure drawing class.
Oh.
Huh?
It's, that's not an artist.
Oh, I don't know. Do you have... But yeah, that's a good start. They've got a lot of... Michael Hampton specifically and Proco have a lot of free content on their YouTube channel. But Will Weston, Glenn Vilppu, Kirk Shinmoto, they have paid classes.
Did you have a book? Yes, we have 2 books.
Yep.
How to Draw Manga, which also covers anatomy.
Did you have an
drawing.
ebook, they said?
Oh, an ebook. Oh, oops.
Just volume 1.
Just volume 1. Just volume 1, not volume 2.
So just the one with the orange jacket?
Yes.
Did you do foreshortening?
If you want to do that. To you.
I mean, you know foreshortening.
Uh,
How can I get it? You can find it on Amazon. You can just look up the titles of the books. Anime Academy, How to Draw Manga. You'll find both of them. It ranked pretty well. We're pretty high up in the, how to draw anime and manga category. I don't remember exactly what it is. But you'll find it pretty quick.
Something that I'll do for foreshortening is...
Foreshortening of what? Like
yeah,
people?
What kind? People? Of limbs? Of
I would
hands?
just start with like cylinders and boxes.
Yeah.
Probably. If you can't foreshorten a cylinder or a box, you certainly can't foreshorten a person.
Well, if foreshortened... So this is like an not isometric, but like a not super foreshortened box. Most of the sides are going to be almost parallel, maybe a little bit converged. But if you want something that's more foreshortened, you're going to have one side that's really, really big and another side that's very converged. So everything feels like so this feels like it's coming in space. This is really, really rapidly going away from you, you know, and you can do that with cylinders as well. Here's a cylinder that is not foreshortened, right? Here's a cylinder that is very foreshortened, has a similar effect. Everything gets really, really short, really, really fast. That's why it's, you know, foreshortening, right? So you notice that these sides are this side is much longer than this one. This side's much longer than this one, and it's all because of the foreshortening. So I would say that's like the general idea of foreshortening. And I feel like the harder part is how to figure out foreshortening when it comes to limbs and stuff. So if I were to like put my hand closer to the camera.
Yeah, someone asked about foreshortening.
Yeah. Someone's asking about foreshortening. So yeah, I don't think they specified what kind. Limbs? Okay. So what I would do is I would draw my head, and then I would decide, okay, how big do I want, how close do I want the hand to be to my camera? If it's very close to the camera, like this, basically everything is just the hand. It's much larger than the head. And this is more of like about estimating. You know, you don't have to calculate the perfect size of the hand, you know, super mathematically. But I would say, hey, if I want someone reaching out, the majority of this frame is going to be the hand. You won't see the arm at all unless you really want to show it, which would, you know, you can show the bottom of the arm a little bit or the hint of the shoulder, but that would basically be about it. If you want to just draw someone reaching for the sky like that. And if you want to draw someone like jumping into the air and it's kind of going back in space, or like everything's going downward, everything based off of this hand, everything goes down pretty fast. So what I would do,
find your convergence.
I would find my convergence. So I would say, like, let's say,
yeah, you can just like put in some tick marks, right?
Yeah.
So like you can say that's your, say, convergence, if you want.
So that's my convergence, and I basically make my body follow that convergence.
So it would get smaller that fast is,
Yeah.
is really what it is. So yeah, it'd basically be your reference. Like, and you draw body as normal, but you would just shrink it that fast.
Yeah.
So the legs, the body, everything would be down there.
Everything gets really, really small.
Really small,
really fast. Just a little bit, you know, well, like it's in just a short amount of time. And same thing with the arm. Like, you don't want the arm to be a normal size because that does not look right. You know, this is the normal size of an arm. If you want it foreshortened, it's gonna have to be getting smaller and smaller really, really fast. And then here's your arm.
Yeah, the arm's gonna be literally the size of the thumb or smaller.
Yeah.
Or the whole.
Now I have to say, I had to do a lot of.
Wow.
What?
We could do a lot of what?
I had to do a lot of exercises to kind of see or to kind of guesstimate foreshortening in a way that's believable.
Yeah.
Like, one thing that I had to do was draw a bunch of Krenz cubes in different angles, which, I mean, Slay, you've probably already seen it. But I also had to basically just draw a bunch of random boxes in different levels of foreshortening and overlap them. You know, that's another way that you can show foreshortening, is just overlapping boxes and saying, hey, maybe this one doesn't foreshorten as much, but this one does. So maybe this one will be much more foreshortened, and then this one will be much more foreshortened. So I did a lot of exercises like that too. You know, another thing that I did was I drew one box like that, and then I overlapped another one, and I turned that into an arm. And the less, how do I say this? Sometimes the shorter the arm is, like the more that you see from the front, these sides get way, way shorter. So that you see that this one, these sides are much longer. It's because you're kind of looking at it at an angle. But if you're looking at it from the front, like this, it gets very, very short. That's another thing that you can try to think about. And you said to add clothes onto these. I mean, it depends on what clothes, but you know, if I want to add a jacket, even the clothes would kind of foreshorten in a similar way. So like all these wrinkles would basically be very condensed, like that. If I want to add a jacket that's wrapping around the form, I know that my jacket tends to end around the waist area, so I use that as like a little bit of a comparative measurement. Here's the cuff of the sleeve. You know, here's a shirt. Here's pants. Maybe the pants are like more like shorts like this. But I'm just using this as a base. And actually, I feel like adding clothes is actually not as hard as drawing the body in foreshortening like this. Because the body's the base, right? And once you have the base figured out, then everything else is fine. And there are also times where your body will look quote-unquote normal, meaning not super foreshortened. So like, let's say if I have a body that looks like this, and you can see that my convergence isn't super high. So maybe we'll have someone sitting, like doing like a Slavic squat or something, I don't know. And everything's pretty standard, not super foreshortened perspective. But then you gotta have a hand that's coming towards you, just like that. And that would work. And then you can show a bit of another comparison where this hand is closer to the head in the proper proportion in comparison to this one. So now you know this one is reaching out. Hopefully that makes sense. It's kind of hard to describe foreshortening with bodies because you have to have a lot of prerequisite knowledge in order get to a certain point that you're happy with.
Yeah.
That's why I don't necessarily like talking about
Foreshortening bodies is like kind of like asking how to do barrel roll dogfighting techniques in a fighter jet. It's like, if you can't fly the jet, if you can't even fly a Cessna, if you don't even know how to start the airplane, you can't do that. And so it's kind of not really worth teaching a lot of the time, because like unless you're teaching a class of like relatively high level students, because all of 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective drawing, like even, I mean, this includes anatomy, volumes, proportion, and this is like extreme proportions, or this is just like human proportions in extreme perspective. So like if you don't know basic human proportions, you certainly can't do it in extreme perspective. So we don't really talk about it all that much because it's not really worth teaching. It's like we more teach foundations. There's definitely
I wish
people
there was
out
a
there.
hack. I
Yeah,
really do wish there was a hack.
There's no hack. There's no hack. It's a lot of practice, a lot of repetition. Like Christina did 10 weeks straight. Like she's already like a professional level character designer and knows anatomy like the back of her hand, and she did 10 weeks straight of rigorous, and I mean really rigorous,
homework,
just boxes and fisheye lenses and stuff like that. And I mean, she has trouble with it.
Yeah. It's a very hard thing. Spiral hack?
What is a spiral hack?
You mean like doing this and then turning that into an arm?
It's not a hack.
I
mean, it still requires perspective, understanding, and knowledge.
Yeah. Not only that, but I wouldn't. This is more like guesswork. Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can argue. This is going in perspective.
I mean, how would you know it's the right proportion of an arm?
Yeah.
How would you know it's the length of a leg?
Because,
how would you know the size of the foot is right?
Well, like if you think about it, if you're going to draw an arm this way, I mean, there's different lengths of the arm.
Yeah.
And different lengths and widths, right? The elbow is a certain width. This doesn't really necessarily conclude or take this into consideration.
A spiral just kind of creates the illusion of depth.
Yeah.
I mean, if you call that a hack, then you could also just call drawing one circle and a bigger circle and connecting them a hack for drawing a cylinder, and it's just a cylinder.
It's true.
But
it
like,
is a cylinder.
if you draw two circles, you can even overlap them.
Oh yeah,
and
that
then you
works
just
too.
connect them, like, and that would be a hack as well. It doesn't do anything for you really. It doesn't teach you anatomy or proportion or camera lenses or perspective or anything like that. So I mean, while it could probably be helpful for somebody who knows how to do it as a shortcut to kind of get into the ballpark of the right area, it wouldn't be useful for someone without that like preliminary knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It looks neat. But yeah, I would say if you want to learn how to draw people in extreme perspective and foreshortening, it would be a process to learn it.
Yeah.
You'd want to take figure drawing classes, you'd want to take perspective classes, and you would want to do a lot of perspective practice with very simple blocky characters, like this kind of stuff for a really long time. I mean, I would recommend Gene's stuff, Gene Pond's videos. He's really good at perspective. He teaches it really well. He has a lot of good exercises for learning that kind of stuff. You're certainly not going to learn it in a weekend.
No.
You're not going to learn it in...
It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. But if you go in with the mindset of it being a marathon, it's not depressing or sad at all. It's like, art is a marathon. It always has been. Like, at least if you... I mean, getting good at art is a marathon. You can enjoy art on a daily basis, just doing it and creating. When is someone considered professional in art? When they make a living from it, probably. I think that would probably be an accurate definition.
Mm-hmm. Or
if
I would
they don't
say...
have trouble finding employment with making money from it, probably. But there's a lot of people who are at a professional level where they could get work and they don't because they're doing something else or they're just chilling, you know. But I don't think it's like a defined line exactly.
I think it's like if you're a professional artist, obviously you make money from it.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also professional level, like your skill level.
trained.
Yeah, like professionally trained, and your skill level is that of a professional artist, like on par with someone that's hireable. You know, that's also another thing.
It's harder to be professional in certain fields. I would probably say that. I mean, look at like character art, like becoming a professional character artist. Everybody wants to be a character artist, so the competition's much higher. So if you want to become a professional character artist who's working at, say, Riot or Blizzard, well, everybody else is trying to go there as well.
Very competitive.
It's very competitive. You actually have to be at a much higher level to get hired at something like that than somewhere else. And that's actually a good strategy. A lot of people will like leapfrog their way up. They'll basically go, all right, I'm going to get to the professional level at art, get hired, spend all of my spare time and all of my extra money taking mentorships from artists who are better than me. And then they'll practice and practice, and then they rack up years of experience. I have a friend who's at Riot. His name's Nicholas Oei. O-E-I is his last name. He has an art station. I think his art station might be Nick Oei.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember he was working to get to Riot for a long time. He's working on like League of Legends. And I met him all the way back when he was a student. He worked really, really hard to get there. It's taken him a long time, but yeah, he's like a proper League of Legends Riot artist now. How would you describe talent artist without talent artist? Huh? I'm not sure what you mean. Who would you recommend for storyboards? I don't know. I've never really done storyboards. Vio, there's a couple storyboarding classes in Brainstorm. I took a storyboarding class from some lady who worked at like Netflix or something like that as a storyboard artist, and I thought it was a pretty good class. I more took it just to learn about storyboarding because I think it's interesting. They focus a lot on clarity. Like storyboarding is all about clarity and communicating ideas. They like focus on different things than say like a concept artist. So it's really possible to achieve your dreams in art if you work crazy hard enough? I mean, I can't guarantee it. Nothing in life is guaranteed. You could get hit by a bus tomorrow, but yeah, a lot of people, it works out for them. Honestly, it's a pretty linear thing. Like, you put in 6,000 hours of hardcore drawing practice, you're going to get pretty dang good. Like, I've seen it happen over and over and over and over and over. I went to a school with a lot of people who were absolute beginners, and, 5,000-6,000 hours later, you're just like, holy crap, that guy's so good. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, to the average person doesn't even consider it art. They just think it's, like, magic.
Like, or just like it just is set into existence. That's how a lot of professional art like feels like. It's like you just speak it into existence. Like you can't even calculate like how the person even did it.
Yeah. I think manga is one of the highest forms of art because of how many things you have to be good at. I mean, really good manga artists are fantastic. I mean, storytelling is a whole enchilada that is an entire skill in and of itself. Like, storytelling is different. Communicating ideas and making interesting characters and development and making interesting plots, like that's writing. That's not even art industry. Like, that's not even like drawing. That's like, I mean, it's like an art, obviously, writing, but like it's a totally separate things that art schools do not teach. And if you're like a manga artist and you're insane at drawing and writing, that's like two
superpowers.
Super difficult skills. Is it how do you differentiate between talented artists and untalented artists? It doesn't matter. I would say, like, at the point at which you get enough practice that you're like getting to professional level, talent makes negligible difference. In my opinion, feel free to disagree. It's totally fine. But I'm talking like you're getting to the 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000 hours of practice. Talent is like such a small sliver, it disappears for the most part. At least in my experience, and I know dozens and dozens of people who are like working professionally as artists. I knew them when they were beginners, when they had never drawn before, a lot of them. It's just how it is a lot of the time. How hard work is going to overcome talent 9 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times generally. Look at this ridiculous cat eating our sound panels.
Oh no.
Look at him. He just tore it straight out of the wall. It's a decoy.
I think there's definitely people who can pick things up faster, and there's just some people who are like they need more like grinding it out to get a certain concept. But I think in the end, it's not like one can't do another thing than the other. Like, I mean, Colton will call himself untalented because you need a lot of reps to fully get a concept. Or some people, they're a bit more intuitive. Like they'll see something and they're like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But I don't think
it's such a negligible difference. I just haven't really seen it that much. Like talent being a major deciding factor.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. I just haven't really seen it. If it's there, I haven't seen it in my experience that much. Not saying it doesn't exist. It's just not a big difference. When you think about AI art, I don't think it is art. I think it's generated imagery. I think it's going to become standard in a lot of industries, whether I like it or not. Mm-hmm. It already is. I have no idea what the future is going to be. It's going to be wild. In a bad way or in a good way, I have no idea. Like, it's to be determined, you know. I certainly don't think AI generated imagery is art, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Like, you know, what did Brandon Sanderson say? He was basically saying it's basically just, yeah, like, you're not an artist, you're basically art directing a computer. Like, and I think that was a good way to put it. He has an interesting talk about AI. I would recommend listening to it. I wish it didn't exist, but I mean, I just teach art, bro.
I think something that you said earlier was interesting. Let me think.
Brandon Sanderson, the guy who wrote the Mistborn series.
Oh, I was gonna say professional artists don't really talk about things in terms of talent.
Yeah, not
At least
really.
I've never heard a professional artist being like, "Oh, talent." Like, I don't know.
No, it's because everybody at that level knows how hard you have to work to get there.
Yeah.
It's like somebody who's like bodybuilder muscles. I mean, obviously you can use you can use what's it called to get buff? Steroids to help you, but like say, you know, like you have to work hard to get there. Like, and all of the people who are professionals know it, and that's why nobody who's a pro ever talks about talent. Is because like it's only the people who aren't that talk about talent a lot, because it's like a solution for the magic that they don't understand. The talented level or just get that higher level faster. I don't even necessarily think so. And I've seen just as many people who thought they had it in the bag get comfortable and get passed up by, quote, untalented people. So is it actually a good thing?
I would say the talent doesn't necessarily determine your fate.
Yeah, like
it's very far from it. Like, someone can have the talent, quote unquote talent.
It just doesn't make a difference in my experience.
But it doesn't determine if this person's going to be an amazing artist for the rest of their lives. Like,
yeah.
I mean, there's there's a lot of people who, have a knack for art, but then they don't end up pursuing it. But it's not because they don't have the talent or anything like that.
Yeah,
it's
people
just
go to
because
pro in
life
5
happens.
years.
Yeah, life happens.
You can absolutely go to pro in 5 years. I have a lot of friends who went pro in 5 years. Heck, I went from graduating high school to working in theme park design in like a year and 3 months. But it's because we were all putting in 16-hour days at the school I was going to.
You have to have a game plan for that.
Yeah,
and
like also good teachers, massive difference.
Oh,
Massive difference. Like if you take a mentorship from someone who's like super good, oh my gosh. Like, you get better so much faster. They cut out so much of the time that it takes that to get better. Like, you see people take a mentorship from, like, Craig Mullins. They get good really fast. Or, like, John Park. Like, why does John Park's mentorship cost, like, $5,500? It's because every single person who takes his mentorship levels up, like, 2 levels in a span of, like, 3 months.
It's a very big investment that basically makes it so that you're...
Can self-taught artists get to that level? It depends on what you mean by self-taught, because I don't really think anybody is actually self-taught. Like, you're always observing and looking and learning at other things.
Do you mean like you don't have
like
formal training.
Like if you're in a box and you don't look at anything from the outside world and you just try to like learn without looking at anything or learning anything, absolutely not. I don't think. No art school? Yeah, absolutely. We're living in the point in history where it is more affordable than ever to learn art. There are free things online like crazy. You can find almost any book online just by searching like free PDF. You can find loads of stuff. You can get mentors who you just become friends with them and they mentor you for free. I recommend you pay people if they're putting in time and energy into helping you, but like, oh my gosh, we live in such an amazing time in history. Like, it is so inexpensive to learn art. Just go to a business and like take up one of the pens. Just be like, oops, I forgot it in my pocket. Sorry. You got a free pen. You know, go steal paper out of the copiers at your school or something, or you know, paper's free. Draw on advertisements that people give out. Like, there are so many ways to learn art for very, very inexpensive. I think it's a lot slower, but it depends.
I would say if you're just learning and just hoping that you're gonna get somewhere just by drawing a bunch, that it's. This is from my experience. I was, I guess, self-taught for basically the majority of my life, meaning I didn't really take any formal training. I was basically winging every artwork that I made, and I was like, I guess this is what a body looks like. It actually made me not really learn that much. It was just me hoping that I can get to a certain level by just kind of cruising, or just by
like
just kind of winging it. Yeah, it's like living in a fog, exactly.
Hey, Lunas, do what you got to do. You take that paper from the copy machine if you need to learn how to draw. Even just observing. Yeah, I would, if you want my advice on the whole self-taught thing, completely delete the idea of self-taught or trained from your mind and simply try every single resource at your disposal. The whole concept of self-taught is like purely an ego thing.
Yeah.
I would just delete it.
I'll
Delete
just say,
self-taught from your mind and just practice and draw and try to use every resource at your disposal.
if you told me back then that I would be able to do this, oh, I'd be like, bro, that's crazy. Like, honestly, I would say classes have helped so much for me personally that in order to whip up a doodle like this, I wouldn't have been able to do it just on my own. Like, or even this. Like,
Yeah, like
it's crazy.
I would gladly give up the title of it, quote, self-taught any day to learn something from someone who's spent 50 years mastering their craft. I mean, even free on YouTube. If you've ever watched a YouTube video on how to draw, you're not self-taught anymore. If you've ever looked at a book on how to draw and learned one little tip, you're not self-taught anymore. Like, I don't know. To me, it's just an ego statement. It's like someone going, I got here on my own without any help. Which is like, I don't know, not really the kind of thing we encourage people to do in our community, you know. Like, I mean, it's all about helping each other and getting better, and I've told people on stream before, if you've been watching this stream, you are no longer self-taught. It's like, I mean, if you learn something from someone else, whether it's in a classroom, whether it's on a live stream, whether it's from a YouTube video, whether it's from a scrap of paper that you see on the ground as you're walking by, it's like not self-taught anymore. And I think people like cling to this idea. They'll like make the argument, right? Well, technically, I'm still self-taught. I mean, I'm not. We even had someone in the chat say they weren't listening to stream; they were just here. Like, I'm still self-taught. I haven't been listening to anything.
Oh my gosh, I do remember that. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like the lengths that people will go through in order to keep that ego alive.
Keep that kind of title in their head.
Bro, I am not self-taught. I have no art talent. I have no talent. Squidward Tentacles has all the talent. But seriously, I have no talent. I would never be anywhere near where I am without teachers and mentors and books and classes. And I proudly say that, honestly. It's just, and I don't ever want to claim that I'm self-taught or anything like self-taught, because it would be disrespectful for the people who've put in really hard work in order to teach and help things click for me.
You know, it's like saying, oh, I had someone teach me how to ride a bicycle, but I clearly did it. I taught myself how to ride a bicycle.
Yeah.
That's like that. I mean, like, wow, well, not even gonna thank the person that like was there for hours and hours trying to give you tips.
Yeah.
And then you say you taught yourself how to ride a bicycle.
I don't know.
It's like that vibe.
I just don't, and I think that mentality doesn't get you very far as an artist, anyways, because now you're sacrificing improvement that you could have in order to protect the ego, and it just doesn't work very well. I'm more interested in, helping people learn how to draw and get better and all that sort of thing than that.
But I also think that everybody's definition of self-talk can be different. But I know that a lot of people, like I feel like art is one of those things that people really take a lot of pride in, and I totally understand that. It's just because like you put a lot of effort in it. It's very impressive. Like when you draw, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, you're such a good artist." That's a really it's a good feeling. It makes you feel good about yourself, right? But then when people take that and basically use that as a basis for like being a true artist or like being better than being being a better artist than other people because they're using that title, that's when things are like, okay, it's chill, like you're not really that. I don't know. And the main reason was because I've been there.
Bro, the yellow gets so dirty.
Like oh yeah, it definitely gets very dirty. I've been there. I would say like I was the kid that was seen as the talented artist in class, and there were times where I'm like, I really like this praise, and this is so embarrassing, but like one time I was even searching up like, oh, who's the youngest artist, because like I wanted to feed that ego or something.
TikTok before TikTok, but then later on as I got it's like as I got older, I'm just like, wait a second, this doesn't even matter. Like it just and I feel like a lot of burnout actually comes from people having a toxic relationship with art. You know?
Yeah. I'm glad that I grew out of it, but there was definitely a time where I was that kind of artist where I was like, I'm good, like I get praised a lot, I've never gotten any training and I've gotten this good. It's this thing. I've gotten this far without getting any help. It's that vibe. And then thankfully I didn't have that mentality after that, until I got like actually good training. I'm like, you know what, I would not have been able to get there. Like I understand things so much more. Like it's a humbling experience, but it's it's good.
I wouldn't be offended at that slay. Most of them mean it as a good thing, and a lot of people don't intend to deliver it in the way that you take it.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people will go, "Oh my gosh, you're so talented," but in their minds they'll mean, "Wow, they've worked really hard for this." Some people don't.
Yeah.
But a lot of people do.
Some people do think that art is just magic, and they think only people with talent can draw. Like, I mean, I've definitely seen that, but for me, like, I personally don't really care. I'm like, I know where they're coming from, so I know it's a compliment. So, but I get it. I get it. I think it's interesting to talk about things like this because it's like philosophy in art. What defines an artist and stuff. And
just remember, if you had fun, you win.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
If you had fun making a piece of art, you win. There's a lot of really high-level artists out there who don't even have fun doing art.
Oh, that's so true. You were one of those.
I'm not a high-level artist, but I worked professionally as a concept artist for years, and I didn't even enjoy it most of the time because I just had a toxic relationship with art.
That's a cute pose.
As long as I like my art, then I'm happy with it. That's great.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, I would go so far as to say, like, even if you don't like your art, you can be happy with yourself for showing up and putting in the work and trying hard. But yeah, absolutely. I feel like something that I definitely want to contribute in the art world is having a community that is not like so focused on the shallow things in art, Yeah. Providing a good community where like all that ego stuff is not even like a part of their vocabulary or even part of their mentality. Yeah, and you can make a really good community that encourages that kind of thing. You can't get rid of it completely, but you can definitely create a community that frowns upon it.
Exactly.
I like to think that's kind of what we've done with our community.
Yeah.
A lot of people who just want to get better and want to help each other and are interested in each other's stories and characters and stuff.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it really is.
Is online drawing course good? Depends on the course.
It depends on the course.
It depends on the instructor. You are completely free to check out ours. I would say ours is very reputable because we've taken classes and we've had a lot of experience teaching.
Yep, and a lot of happy students.
And a lot of happy students. So you are free to examine our class and determine if it's good for you. We basically made it so that you don't have to lift a finger in terms of
figuring out
what to learn. Exactly.
You just go through the lessons and do the homework. It's like it's college. That's why people go to college, is because it tells you what to learn in what order, and you just do the work and take the material, focus on trying to understand it, do the homework.
And basically, I mean, if you like this, if you like how we teach, we basically teach a very similar way how we teach in Anime Art School. If you find that these tips have been helpful, that's how we teach in Anime Art School. So I would say, like, when we do streams, it's kind of like a little free sample of how we teach in Anime Art School. It's just Anime Art School is much more like in depth, and I take a lot slower to, guide you through things, which there's definitely a lot of classes where you take the class and you're like, they didn't really explain much of anything. I've definitely had classes where I'm like, this person's English is so broken I can't even understand what they're saying, but it's just because it depends on the instructor. So do your research. Teaching is a skill.
There's a lot of artists out there who are super good artists, but they can't really explain what they do. And that's totally fine.
It is.
But you do have to work hard at becoming a better teacher. That's part of the reason that I really like Will Weston so much, is because he spends just hours and hours and hours trying to figure out better ways to explain things. And that's what we do. We spend a lot of time putting together all of our favorite ways that things are explained and broken down.
Thank you, Dahlia. Can you say the course's name again?
Yeah, it's our Anime Art School. You can find it here. Drawanime.com. You can take a screenshot of that if you want and go check it out there.
Yep, it's on the link in our profile. You can just search this up on your URL. It'll take you there.
Yeah, and you go through it at your own pace. So, you can go through it whenever you want. It's all there. The homework, we give you recommended homework. You can see the whole syllabus just from the page.
Yep.
And if you want to check it out.
I'd consider it a talent to be able to put that much work in it for something you want to do, though. Sorry, maybe I missed the comment.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, when they say you're talented, it just means, like, I can tell you put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Put a dress.
Are you sobbing at my way rendering wood when the professor never explained any of it? Well, wood is a pretty matte material. It tends to get worn around the edges. So corners and edges of wood tend to get lighter in value because it gets a little bit worn. And wood is quite a matte material, and understand the grain of the wood and what way it's going and what type of wood that you're things in general tend to get a little lighter in value when they get worn. And a lot of the time, like stone and stuff, when it gets worn down, it'll also get a little bit more reflective. So it'll go from matte to slightly reflective, depending if it gets like a little polished or something. But there's just like general rendering principles for materials that when you learn them, you can pretty much break down any material you want and figure out how to draw it.
I would say try to find your lights and your darks. Don't worry about the details. Squint a lot when you're looking at your material, and find a good reference that isn't like a stock image or like something that's really hard to see value-wise. I would say something that's really hard to render is something that feels like not very descriptive in terms of light and value. And if it just feels like a flat texture, like if your wood just looks like this, it's very hard to render because you don't really know how you want your viewer to look at the wood that you've rendered. You would have to try to find areas of focal points.
There, now you know where to look.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
Have you done art for Manhwa Studio before? No, neither of us have.
Nope.
Is it too late to start learning to do art for work at 25? Nope. My brother actually started for the first time when he was 26, and he's working as an artist full time now. He's a concept artist. He's working on a couple unannounced games a little while back, but 26 or 25, not late at all. I would say there's never a late point. I have a couple friends who were in their 32, 33 years old when they started. It's just the great thing, Lukey, is that when you're older, you're generally more aware of the work that you need to put in. People who are older, who get started a little bit later, tend to have more discipline and more resources at their disposal as well. You have more life experience. So getting started late is not late. You just have different tools that you're starting with. But yeah, there's like no, I mean, an hour is an hour. 1,000 hours of practice is 1,000 hours of practice. If you do want to get really good, and you want to become like a professional, like where you're actually making a living off of art, I would absolutely say learn foundation. Learn foundation. All right. Mm-hmm. If you want to get like reliably hired as an artist, it depends exactly what you want to do. But so what do you want to do exactly? But it'd be foundation, right? Figure drawing classes. You can learn that teaches anatomy, that teaches proportion, it teaches gesture. You know, take figure drawing from a good teacher. I would say like perspective classes. Learn to draw perspective, learn the basics of perspective, and then practice a lot to be able to draw perspective intuitively. Study your favorite like screen caps or breakdowns. Jean had Christina do a whole bunch of studies of like Akira, where she would draw grids that were the shots that were from Akira. Like you can do that. Take your favorite projects.
And then I would basically take those as a base and I would draw my own illustrations in those frameworks.
Yeah. Learn clothing drawing. Take like a costume drawing class. Costume. I said costume like costume. Clothing costume drawing classes. There's a bunch of good ones out there. They're going to teach stuff like tension and compression. They're going to teach stuff like your 7 basic folds. They're going to have you do a bunch of drawings of different materials, thin materials, thick materials, layering. Definitely take a costume drawing and clothing drawing class that teaches those things. If you want to learn how to paint and render, take a painting class. I would recommend traditional painting for sure. Making a good-looking painting is all about the design of your composition.
Knowing
if
where
it
to
don't
place
look
things.
good from a thumbnail phase, it won't look good at a final render. It's all about that graphic compositional design. Ian Roberts has a great YouTube channel.
Ian Roberts?
Yeah, he teaches a lot of composition. Did I hear a meow?
Yeah.
Kitty? I see little toe beans down there.
Cute.
What else? By the way, if you're wanting to get good at art, I would be taking notes on this stuff. Ian Roberts has a great YouTube channel. Look at those silly little toes. Color theory. If you want to learn color theory, remember color is relative and it's almost exclusively about the value. Value is way more important than color. But if you do want to get into color, just make sure that you're... Oh, there he is. Toby's getting clingy. He woke up from a nap. If you want to learn color, keep in mind warm and cool. You can have warm and cool versions of pretty much any color. Gray is a neutral. Gray is going to be warm next to colds, and it's going to be cold next to warms. What are you meowing about?
He wants to be held baby style.
Oh, he does. You're free to join our Discord server. We stream all the time. We'll be live again tomorrow.
I've been drawing a lot of basic shapes and boxes in perspective over and over the past month after starting to draw a year ago. Awesome.
He's so happy. Bro, he purrs so loud.
What's the best way to get better without spending money?
The best, absolute best way to get better without spending money, you're going to have to spend your time and energy instead of money. So you can become friends with people and hang out with artists, and a lot of the time they'll mentor you and give you tips. If you're not spending your money, you're spending your time.
Yep.
So it depends which one you want to do. If you're talking about how do I get better at art without spending any money or leaving my bedroom or putting in any effort at all, your options are going to be very limited, and that's pretty much going to be just free resources you can find online and YouTube and stuff.
Yeah, you don't spend any money or effort on getting fed every day and getting babied. You got the life, huh?
That's paw on your face.
Yeah.
Oh. Where do I get the brush you two use? Because it doesn't say brushes in your link. Really? So, this is where you get the brush. Go to your URL and type this in, drawanime.com. Don't Google it. Put in your URL. You will see a green button that says brush that we use during stream, right? I think that's what it's called. Or just digital brush.
Yeah, it's going to be a green button that says digital brush.
Yeah.
It is on that page, drawanime.com. Do not Google this. This
Don't
is an
Google this.
actual website. Type that into your browser bar, your URL bar.
Yeah, Toby's right here. You're so cute.
Hi, Toby. There he is. In the camera.
Spoiled kitty? Yeah, you better believe it.
You
Most
a spoiled kitty.
There he is. His eyes look weird because of the green screen.
I got a BRB. Tinkle time. And then you'll have something fun to look at.
He's being
I was really proud of this doodle that I did. I was like, oh, that actually looks pretty
spoiled
good.
little kitty.
The thing about fundamentals is that once you know the fundamentals, you can make mistakes and you can get away with things. You just got to know how to get away with it. Because, like, I know that this hand probably isn't the most proportional. Like, if I turn this upside down, yeah, it looks a bit derpy. But, like,
You can fix it.
you can fix it. Quit that. Oh, whatever.
He's walking all over here. Here, go figure out what to do, Toby.
But
go play with a ball or something.
It's good enough that people don't really bat an eye. That's kind of the point where I like to get.
Starting portrait realism. Can't ever get my proportions right, and the skin shading is hard. Portrait. Nathan Fowkes actually has a really good book on doing charcoal portraits. I would look into that. You know, a lot of people swear by the Riley rhythms. Like, they learn the general proportions of the face. They do a lot of studies of the skull and stuff, you know? This type of thing. A lot of people will study this. They'll kind of create like a hybrid block-in for heads. And then they'll swear by the Riley rhythms. I've never learned the Riley rhythms. Also, trusty Asaro. Don't forget about your trusty Asaro heads. These are lifesavers. ASARO. You can find lots of images of them online. These are fantastic for learning realism portraits because it's just the structure of the head. But yeah, skin shading is so hard. Yeah, that's just gonna break down into like your lights and your darks, and then you're gonna have edges in between, right? You're gonna have like cast shadows, which cast hard edges. You're gonna have form shadows, which are soft edges. Didn't know you could get a physical Asaro heads. You can. So the Asaro head is a full life-size head. This is a 3D printed Asaro head that we printed ourselves. So you can't actually get these without doing a little bit of work. But this is a head that we printed. It's about that big. You can't get these. You'd have to find like a 3D model of an Asaro head and print it yourself. What are good tutorials for drawing fluid poses? They're on Amazon. Not these guys. These guys you find on planesofthehead.com. John Asaro made this. He's the guy that made the original Asaro head. And you can order life-size ones. If they are on Amazon, I wouldn't get it because it's a knockoff and it's stolen. And I don't want to support thieves. Yeah, probably bootlegs. You know, funny enough, an oil painting teacher that we're taking right now, he had Asaro as his teacher a couple of times. He took his class twice. He teaches on New Masters Academy, Asaro. He's still teaching.
I'm back with Toby.
Is it possible to draw the male torso using circles? I mean, you could draw it using circles.
Oh, that'd be an interesting challenge.
Most people don't generally break it down that way. When will you sell the book on TikTok Shop? I'm not sure. We're going to be looking into it relatively soon. If we sell the book on TikTok Shop, we're going to have to start a whole shipping operation here in our house.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a little bit involved. So we're looking into it.
Can I draw a male body with circles? I mean, since I know the fundamentals of drawing a body, I can. I just have to not really.
I don't know. Are there knockoffs on Amazon?
If you mean like the rib cage is like an egg, that's a very good breakdown. But circles, I've never seen it with circles before. If anything, it would just be like you would just still add muscles either way and still think of it like a box. I mean,
yeah, it does look like there's a couple of knockoffs on there. I wouldn't buy them. It's stolen, or they're selling. It's basically stealing someone's artwork and selling it.
Are Taco's art books good? Because I heard it was very stylized.
Yeah, they're great.
I actually really like them.
They're good books. I mean, you're right. They are stylized, but I mean, stylization is just a derivative of the real thing. All the muscles are correct. It's not like he's gonna put the bicep on the foot.
Well, there is a thing called a bicep femoris.
Yeah, there is, but that's on the back of your leg.
I would say I think Taco's books have very good breakdowns.
They're great.
They're really good. In fact, I used those a lot for reference. I would say if you are a complete beginner, it's probably not as helpful. But if you are a pro or someone who's like more skilled and knows how to break it down, it's definitely better. If
you're a beginner, I would really recommend taking a figure drawing class. You could go through the books and do a bunch of drawings of them. The thing is, it's simplifications, right? So it depends on what level you want to learn it. If you only care about being able to simplify it, then that's totally fine. Procro is good? Yeah, Procro is great. Very good content. But I love Taco's books. I think they're a little bit disorganized.
Yeah.
Especially the really thick one. It's like wings, now feet. Oh, now we're gonna learn
Yeah,
eyes.
I don't know what was on about that, but it was still good.
So you're gonna have to put a lot of sticky notes in the book.
To
keep track of the pages you like. Little stuff. 2 of Christopher Hart's books. Yeah, Christopher Hart is like one of the OGs in
anime drawing books.
In how to draw manga books in bookstores and Michael's and the Hobby Lobby and every store you can possibly find. You can open that now. It's not. There's no more sun.
That's right.
Look at you, Applejack.
So handsome.
Good looking, bro.
Oh, you're so good looking.
I just want to give me. I just want to grab his little body, his big body. Oh my goodness.
Hi there, Applejack.
He's so big.
Hi there, Applejack.
He's
Cute
so
little
big.
Toby.
He's so big.
Look at those. Look at those eyes. Lemon Jack?
It always looks like you're choking him when you do that.
I know, I'm not though.
He's so big.
15-pounder.
Yeah, I feel like his stomach is not as.
What do you think, chat? Big back? Cute face.
Very cute face.
Very cute face.
You're so sweet. There you go.
Go back up there.
Big baby, yes, he's a big boy.
Big boy.
Chonker. Now he's heading out. He's like, what's that noise in there? I got kitty hair all over me now. My head.
He is very sheddable, I guess.
Yeah, Taco's books are great. We kind of hoard art supplies. We pretty much get everything that looks decent that comes out. You know, one of the only books I don't have is Gottfried Baum's.
I saw a peek of that when I was in my during my membership with Gino's. Looked really good.
Well, you have the digital version.
Oh, I
There's
do
like
have the
a free
digital version.
online
Yeah,
version
that's right.
that's just
there
on a
is.
website. But
Hey, if
I
you want
mean,
to learn
like, we
anatomy
don't have
for
the
free,
physical.
that's right.
Gottfried Baum's is really good. We've got all the Bridgman stuff and been through a lot of that. That's good stuff. You know, Ray Bustos has his entire analytical anatomy class on ArtStation for like $80. He's literally the anatomy teacher at Art Center, College of Design. That class would run you $5,000 at one of the most prestigious design schools in California. He has it for $80 on ArtStation, same class. I'm telling you, when I say it has never been cheaper to get high quality art education, I mean it.
Yep, he means it.
Like, I don't say that lightly. We literally live in a time where it is cheaper, where education, good high quality education, is cheaper than ever for art, and there's such an overabundance of amazing artists who teach really good stuff. Ray Bustos is his name. Ray, REYBUSTOS. And I think it's on Graphit. I think he worked with Graphit. 8-week anatomy class. Graphit, GRAFIT. Graphit Studio on ArtStation. Ray Bustos presents Ray's Anatomy 8-week anatomy course, $80. He is the anatomy teacher. Now, this isn't a figure drawing class. This is not a figure drawing class. This is an analytical, like, anatomy class. So he doesn't teach like proportion and gesture and all that kind of stuff. So I do want to say that. We're always recommending figure drawing classes, but this is like an anatomy class.
Are you guys drawing on a sketchbook? I'm new to digital art. This is not a sketchbook. This is
An iPad.
iPad Pro 13-inch.
Yeah, but I do a lot of sketchbook work during stream.
Show it.
Yeah, I've been doing
Ooh,
nonsense
that's
with
wonderful.
watercolor.
Man.
I sketch all the time on stream, just in a little sketchbook and this kind of stuff. But yeah, I really recommend iPads. They're fun for doodling and drawing. You can even make some pretty hardcore, like, they're legit. There's a lot of pros that work in Procreate and Clip Studio. Art Walker uses Gottfried. Yeah, Gottfried is good. Bridgman is really good. I like Michael Hamden's book for figure drawing. It's not as detailed as a lot of these other books, but it's like a dedicated figure drawing book. Mickey Made, yeah.
I would love to make that a 30-page one-shot. Oh, that'd be so cool.
The brush? You can get the brush for free. Here. Sarin. You can take a screenshot of that. This is a website, not a Google search. You can type that into your browser bar, drawanime.com. It's going to be the green button. Or if you're in the Discord server, just type !brush and you can get it for free. It's totally free brush download.
Applejack, welcome back.
You better not scratch at the blinds.
Mm,
Can y'all tell Dahlia to render her Draw Anime Academy OC? Render your Draw Anime Academy OC, Dahlia.
Yeah, Dahlia, now that I think of it, you haven't really done a lot of rendering, right? You focus mostly on like line work and like cell shading. It might be a good time to start practicing some rendering stuff. That could be fun. Having a hard time with my fundamentals, so I can't draw proper anatomy. Do I quit?
No, don't quit.
If you want to quit, I mean,
yeah,
I don't
true,
want
if
to
you
tell
wanna
you
quit.
what to do, but I'll tell you right now, literally everybody
Eh!
deals with that.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, don't you backsass us.
Oh, now you're acting sweet and
Oh,
rubbing
I'm
against
such
my...
a sweet kitty.
You're such a sweet kitty.
I'm the sweetest kitty ever. I never do any. You
Oh.
almost fell over, bro.
That's not good.
I'm the sweetest kitty. I would never do such a thing.
I would never do such a thing. Ugh, 15-pounder.
Hello. Are you gonna watch the Demon Slayer movie?
Nope.
No.
I'm having a hard time with rendering IDK. Where to start? Start with form drawing.
Form drawing.
If you cannot render, it's because you don't understand the form. Rendering is just light hitting a form. If you can't draw it, you can't render it. And I don't mean your drawing has to be gorgeous. I mean,
If you don't
you
understand
have to understand it.
in the drawing stage.
Yeah. Rendering is drawing plus extra.
Yeah.
And again, your basic forms are, for the most part, cylinders, boxes, cones. What else? These things. What are those, rectangular prisms?
I think they're triangular prisms.
I think triangular prisms are like pyramids.
I think that'll just be
Chat?
a pyramid.
What is this? Is this a rectangular prism or a triangular prism? But anyways, that spheres. I'm not a geometricist, so
Geometricist.
I draw. I just draw, bro. If I can draw it at any angle, good enough for me.
Triangular, I think Luna says.
Right? If I can draw it, good enough for me. I don't need to know what it's called. There we go. And then the oh so famous
Ribbon.
ribbon. So if you can draw these things, then you can learn how to render them. Because if you can't draw a cylinder, then how would you be able to put a core shadow and a shaded side and a turning edge? If you can't draw a cylinder, if you can't draw a box, how can you render a box with 1, 2, 3? You can't. If you can't draw it, you can't render it. And if you want to learn how to render clothes, it's just ribbons. It's just really long ribbons. A ribbon would be just like a sliver cut out of a fold, for example. Can you like help me? Where should I start? At anatomy? What do you want to be able to do? What do you think anatomy is going to do for you? Why do you want to learn it? Is it because you want to be able to draw people? I'll work on rendering after dinner, Dahlia says. Bro, I forgot. Dinner!
We're gonna have to wrap up soon.
I forgot I'm literally starving.
God, you're literally starving.
Can you try a hair? I mean, I guess I could.
No! Wait.
Ew.
Anime to be exact? Okay, so under... Anime anatomy is the same as realistic anatomy. It's just slightly stylized, meaning you can change the size of your torso and all that stuff, or how defined you want it, in order to understand anime anatomy. It's the same as just learning real anatomy.
Forgot I'm literally starving, yeah.
So what I would do to just start is I personally like studying male anatomy just because it's very easy to see the muscles. With female bodies, it's not as defined.
It is a triangle.
It's more common for me. I think it's more common to study with male anatomy. But what I do,
What the heck is a rectangular
this is
prism?
just, I think it's just a rectangular prism.
It's
Like
just a
that.
box.
It's just a box, but it's like not a cube. What I would do is I would first set up my body, and what I'm doing here is setting my proportional system. So generally the proportional system for your body is your body is about 3 units tall.
Top of your body, you mean?
Yeah, the upper half of your body.
So this, by the way, is figure drawing.
Yeah, this is figure drawing.
This is not anatomy. This is just general basic proportions.
Now pretend that these are...
If you want to be able to draw anime, I would not start with anatomy. I would start with proportion and simple volumes.
Yeah.
Do you guys have an XP pen? Yes, but it's unopened.
Yep.
We bought it for a giveaway that we never ended up doing yet. Chat, we will be giving it away at some point. Haven't used it, though. Is it good? You like them?
So just make sure that these are all the same height. Width doesn't really matter as much because, you know, sometimes people's body types changes, but I like to go based on height. So make sure that all these units are the same height. Your rib cage goes in here.
How to study that? You're studying it.
You're studying it right now. So memorize it.
This is in our books, by the way.
Yes,
as well.
it is in our books, and it's what we teach in anime art school.
Yeah.
We learned this in Will Weston's class, and this is a very common breakdown for figure drawing.
Well, you learn this in every class.
You learn this in every class.
Will Weston. This is Kirk
Shimoto.
Shimoto. This is Michael Hampton. This is Proco. This is every single person who teaches figure drawing. These breakdowns.
Well, we ain't gatekeeping it because we're literally teaching it for free too. So you can always rewatch this on our streams on YouTube as well. We teach this quite a lot.
You know what kind of art is gatekeep, chat?
You can only find this if you buy.
Fearful artists.
That's
gatekeep.
true.
They're trying to keep you from getting better than them. That's why they gatekeep.
Or they just also want money desperately. You
Yeah,
know,
I
like
guess
we
that's
only
true as
be able to
well.
Get through a paywall.
But gatekeepers specifically.
Yeah.
Gatekeepers hide because they have a scarcity mindset. Scarcity, like, I need to keep what's mine and I need to hide it from chat.
It's a secret. So then you got your rib cage, and that's generally where your elbow is. And if you swing out from your pubic bone or your crotch, that is where your wrist is gonna start. And your hand comes out. And so that way your hand ends at around your thighs, right? So keep this thing in mind. And then when you draw, you can start with your 2 units of measurement. Right? This is my rib cage, this is my pelvis. I divide this in half. This one right here is where my pelvis starts. Here I can morph this a little bit, so now it looks more like a male upper body, and then everything is just fill in the blank, right? Here's my rib cage.
See ya, Slay.
Bye, Slay. Here's my rib cage. It's all very messy, unfortunately. You know, and I always do anatomy last. Anatomical information comes last because you need to have this foundation first. So here's, you know, a cylinder for the neck.
As long as it has a triangle and it's not a pyramid. As long as it has a triangle and it's not a pyramid. Interesting.
Here's a center line.
Yeah, Nanashi, it generally will be.
Huh, what?
This proportion is going to be the
Yes,
same.
same with female. It's just a slightly different
It'll be
shape.
a little bit different shape.
It'll just be...
And you might, and you want to know how to make a character not as tall? You make the head bigger.
Yeah. Make the head bigger, now they look like a child.
Yeah. Basically. And it's close enough that it's pretty easy to adjust from there. Is it exactly the same anatomically? No. Is it close enough that you can adjust later? Absolutely. Or
And
like
the
an
good thing-
hourglass, depending on the body type.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's more
a lot of the time.
hourglassy because the hips are wider, but sometimes you can have a body type that's like this, where the rib cage is small, the shoulders are small, and the hips are wide. You can have it more like this. This is more like kind of traditionally feminine. You can have it more rectangular.
Thick.
You can have it more rectangular like this. As long as the hips are just a bit wider than the male, then it looks feminine. Another great thing about this measurement is that you can just literally take this length, move it down 1, and that's where the feet are. This whole upper body is about the same length as the lower body as well. So this is the halfway point.
Do you categorize tutorials each day, like Monday for gesture, mannequin, Tuesday, no, not really.
No.
Today we have no topic because we were shopping all day. We got home just before stream and we just hopped on. But a lot of the time we will do themed streams. We did a clothing one last time. So Monday was clothing stream, and so there's all this kind of stuff. And lots of breakdowns. So it was like any clothing related questions, right? So shoes and how to draw specific things, rendering armor, ruffles. There was a lace demo. Here's like a hoodie, t-shirt. Where was that? Here it is. Like she doodled this at the end of stream. So we'll have themed. Oh, here's that lace.
Yeah, I like that lace.
And it's all on YouTube as well. We're live streaming on YouTube as well right now. So Draw Anime Academy on YouTube if you want to rewatch any of our live streams. We have like 150 or 60 live streams that are on YouTube that you can go watch. Get all that, but I had a hard time connecting all the body parts. You just practice a lot.
Practice a lot.
So what you do is you memorize those proportions, like through repetition. So you go, here's the body, length of the whole body.
Oh, go ahead.
And you can break it down like this as well.
Break it down here.
Sure. Right? Here's my length of my body. There's the bottom. There's the top. I divide it in half. That's not half. That's about half.
Yeah, it's about half.
And so there's half. Here's the top. Here's the bottom. Break this into thirds. Third. 2/3 of this top box is the head, generally speaking. Here is the rib cage. Half of this tends to be your pelvis. Here is the rib cage, like that. And I'm just doing this really quick. The width isn't quite right. Halfway of here is the bottom of the pillar of your knees.
Bottom of the kneecaps.
Yep. So you go zoop, zoop, feet, shoulders, bottom of your rib cage, elbow, pubic bone swing out, hand, wrist, hand is below that, elbow, hand is below that. There's like a general proportion figure, right? This proportion right here is very ugly, but it's accurate enough that you could carry on and you could draw a character over top of it, essentially.
How about proportions for taller men? It'll be the same proportions, you just show the shorter
Here,
person
this is
next to it.
proportioned for taller men. 7 foot.
Yep.
There you
just
go.
say that's
There's a
7 feet.
7-foot guy.
And then if you want to draw someone shorter, draw the person next to it. And just make sure that they're... Oh, that's a very big height difference. And just make sure that your feet also are on the same plane of existence.
Yeah. It's really that. And then you can, whatever you want to do. If you want to give him broad shoulders, if you want to give him a small head, if you want to whatever. So that is your general proportion that you're pretty much going to learn in any figure drawing class. And then this will be turned into 3-dimensional volumes. So, iPad mini.
iPad mini? Okay. Here you go.
So yeah, it's literally, well, that one doesn't have it. This one doesn't have it. This one has it. This one's my favorite. Mm-hmm. Right? Gesture and proportion, that's step 1. Filling it in with the volumes, right? Which way are the limbs going? Adding muscles and stuff on the top. This guy's very toned. He probably has 0% body fat.
Yep.
For some reason. But yes, he has 0% body fat.
I'm mainly still focusing on the muscles.
It's literally just built on top of this general proportion, right? Look at this. So you go back. Halfway, pubic bone. A third, and a third. Rib cage. 2/3 of the top one is the head. Here's the rib cage. This is the second third. And then the third is the pelvis and squishy middle part. Look. Zoop. Swing out, there's the elbow. Zoop, swing out, there's the elbow. Zoop, swing out, there's the wrist. Halfway is the bottom of the knee, and then that's accurate enough to add this. And then you add the muscles on top of that.
Mm-hmm. What category of art tutorial is this?
Juicy steak, rare.
Medium rare.
Most juiciest medium rare steak high protein art tutorials. I don't know. It's just art tutorials.
I guess figure drawing, if that's what you mean.
The juiciest, highest protein. I'm talking like you can't get any higher protein. Like
It's muscles, bro.
Like gym bros would be like, how do I get that in my shake in the morning? High protein. Yeah. These awesome. And then the anatomy would go on top of that. But like I said, like we didn't invent any of this, right?
Nope.
It's just basic human anatomy and proportion. This is taught in pretty much every figure drawing class. We teach it in our figure drawing class. I'd like to say we teach it pretty well.
I like to say it.
I would like to say, and I will say, we teach it pretty darn well.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not the only people who teach it.
Nope. Nor do we claim to be.
Oh yeah, I'm not anywhere near the best artist. Applejack? Let's check Kitty Cat and see what he's up to.
Oh, that's a good.
Oh.
Look at you.
You're so cute.
Look at your silly cute head. Oh, so cute.
I'm hungry.
I am too. When are you doing basic structures or mannequinization? Whenever. Like, get out in the volumes, you mean?
If you want immediate information on that, you can check out this video of ours. I need to go to it. If you hate drawing figures, do this or something like that. This one right here. I cover how to draw kind of like bodies in a mannequin style, as well as proportional setup, and adding an anatomical information in this video. So you can check that out.
Yeah, it's a pretty good video. It talks about a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's on our YouTube channel, Draw Anime Academy. And also, don't forget, if you're interested in learning all this kind of stuff really well, and you want an all-in-one place where you can learn kind of like everything that you would learn in like a college, we do have an online school that you can take at your own pace. Even if you just want to check it out, see what it's all about, you can go to drawanime.com. That is a URL link, not a Google search. Just type it into your browser bar, drawanime.com, and hit the yellow button. It'll take you to Anime Art School. You can learn all about it. There is a 12-week-long figure drawing class in term 1 that teaches you all of what we talk about in complete depth. And there's also like a costume drawing class and a rendering class and a perspective class and a character design class. It's like a college.
Yep. What's your YouTube at? It's Draw Anime Academy. It's the same name.
Yep. Same username is here.
The
Draw
school
Anime
is
Academy.
not free.
No, that is not free. The school is not. All of our live streams, YouTube videos, TikToks are free, but we do have a beefy, chunky program for people who want to get basically a college level education without breaking the bank. And it's pretty darn good school, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of people who are chat members and stuff who go through the school and stuff as well.
I really do enjoy Anime Art School. We worked our butts off on it. I mean, like, it's the reason why, like, people getting to school is also the reason why we get to stream for free.
Yup.
So yeah, that's also a great way to support us.
Yeah, and how we're able to do art supply giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff. It's been a really fun journey, you know, and it's really rewarding, people improving and learning how to draw and enjoying art.
Oh yeah.
I will always recommend. Thank you, Dahlia. Dahlia has a wild improvement.
How much for the art school?
Wild improvement. $497.
497.
And it is it's a college. It'll take you a year to get through. It's a bunch of different classes, and all of them are 14 weeks long, except the anatomy class, which is 12 weeks long.
Does 100% of the funds go to YouTube?
Yeah, we're not based on another platform.
It's our own website.
No, nobody's sticking their hands in the pie. I mean, obviously there's taxes and running our business and all that kind of stuff, but we're not hosting it on another person's platform. We used to have Udemy classes, and we would get like, oh my gosh,
Barely.
sometimes we would get, if somebody would buy a class for $10, you'd get the teacher would get like 70 cents.
It's wild. It's yeah.
We have 100,000 students on Udemy. We have been teaching for a really long time, ever since 2019, and people like it. Our ratings are really, really high. You can go check it out. Check our Udemy stuff out if you want to look it up. You can look up our names.
Yeah.
But Anime Art School is way more in depth and better than anything we put on Udemy ever.
I think mine is Christina Wu or Dubel, whichever. I think I did Wu / Dubel.
Yeah, we have 100,000 students on Udemy. And
Udemy.
we've been doing that for a really long time. We took everything we learned. We constantly are taking classes and improving and getting better, and built an entire school online because we're just like, the heck? Why does nothing like this exist?
Hey, Nanashi.
Do they pay creators different rates for higher rated creators? No.
No, they don't.
Not really. No. Not as far as I am aware. Middlemaning has gone way too far. Yes, but it is a lot of work to build your own platform. Christina and I do 100% of our own marketing. We built our TikTok from 0 followers. It took us 11 months to get our first 3,000 followers on TikTok.
It was wild.
It is very difficult to grow. It's an entire different skill. It's not art, right? It's marketing and psychology. So we had to learn that from scratch. Middleman can be a really good deal for people who only want to teach and teach alone, and then you sign up for a website and they help market it for you and everything. But you get what you put in. You get out what you put in, right? So we learned all of this stuff from scratch, recorded all of our classes. I learned how to build a website and landing page, and I'll do all of that kind of stuff, and it's been fun. I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's been so fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how old Anime Academy is.
We started my very first course, and that's branded Anime Academy.
It was 2019.
2019, yeah.
Well, our YouTube channel is 3 years old.
Yeah.
We created our YouTube channel 3 years ago, and then maybe another year later, or 6 months later, I don't remember, we made our TikTok.
Yeah. Do you have a school that works not based on my phase?
I don't know what that means.
I don't know what you mean by phase. It works for beginners, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, it's a foundation school. It's like, whether you're beginner or advanced, it takes you through all of the foundations. Everybody would get benefit out of it. If you're a beginner, it will take you from the very first step. But it's like you're going into a college and you show up on day 1 and they start teaching you 1 point perspective, like what a horizon line is, what a vanishing point is. It's like that. So like you kind of hit the ground running. Week 1, you're getting a lot of lessons. Like we don't waste time. There's no fluff. It's like
you're starting.
I would be surprised if anybody would be able to get through it in a year. Dahlia, would you say that it would be absolutely wild for someone to get through in a year? Love you too. Thank you, Maisie. Appreciate
you.
it. When do you think the right time to learn anatomy? I don't think anatomy is bad to learn at any time.
I don't think there's...
It's just, if you don't know proportion and structure, what are you putting those muscles on? I would say learning proportion and structure is important to know where to put the anatomy. That's just me. Like, you can learn anatomy whenever you want. I think they would have to be putting every hour they can into it nonstop. Yeah, that's how we basically designed it.
Mm-hmm.
Dahlia is one of the star students in Anime Art School. She's been working her butt off, and she's gotten a lot better. And, like, you literally would have to read... Like, the lessons are so... Some of the lessons are really dense. Like, you kind of have to, like, go through 5 minutes of it, pause it, and kind of just, like, digest what you heard. It's like I'm telling you, it is the juiciest, most high-protein steak you've ever had.
Mm-hmm. And it's very rich.
I think Udemy is a really good starting platform for people who want to dabble in classes online. But for people like us who are like actually trying to make a legit large scale school that's like really impactful online, it just wasn't really the program.
And it wasn't really... I feel like We wanted to be independent, you know?
Yeah.
Want to be our own thing.
We wanted to have control. You know, Udemy doesn't even allow you to upload a free course that's more than 2 hours long.
They don't even let you, like, promote your socials or anything like that.
You will get kicked off the platform if you're directing people off-site, if you're trying to sell them anything off-site, if you're sending people to your own website. They shut that down real fast. They do not want their students leaving their website. They don't give you access to any of your emailing lists or students or anything. The only thing you can do is basically put like a free Discord or Facebook link in the welcome or ending message of the class, and nobody reads that. Like hardly anybody reads those. But like I said, it's not bad for people who want to get started. You just don't expect to build an audience that you can take off-site.
Yeah, I think it's great for, like, people who just want to dabble in class making. Like, I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought it was a good opportunity to make some money, you know. Teaching anime art, something that I love. And it evolved into this. So
Yeah, I mean...
it was a good start.
The funny thing is that we constantly have people on stream and they go, I have your Udemy class, or I
Yeah.
have your class. And like they generally mean Udemy class. Because like I said, we have 100,000 students between the two of us on Udemy, more than 100,000. I haven't even checked in a long time. But people be like, I have your class. I had no idea you had a social media. It's like, yeah, because they don't allow us to tell you we do.
Yeah.
What is it? Sorry, loud typing.
Thanks, Mazzy.
83,235 students Christina has.
How do I know the length of the legs? It keeps annoying me. Length of your legs will be the same length as your upper body from your, and I mean to your feet.
30,446 students I have.
Take
so
this length.
113,000 students between the two of them.
Wow. Oh yeah. Oh, that's a fun one.
Yeah, these are old
These are
classes.
old
like
classes.
they're good. They're good classes, but they're nothing compared to anime art school. And we don't update these classes and everything. They're totally worth it. $16 for that. That's pretty good. But that's 5 years that's 5 years ago. We've gotten so much better at teaching
Yeah.
and everything in 5 years.
It's like, yeah, obviously you can get our Udemy classes, but they're very old. And I would be like,
I
But
wouldn't advertise
I wouldn't
them because
advertise
our
them.
stuff is just so much better.
I'm
these
very
days.
picky. We're both very picky about.
I take at
our
least 2
products.
weeks per recommended week, if not longer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's very, very dense, and it's good. Like, I mean, it's an entire college. What more can I say? It's literally a college. If you think our free content is good, and it is.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know the length of the legs? Yeah, it's just half the body.
Half the body. I just want to continue this sketch while we're at it. I actually quite like it.
I mean, technically the femur comes out a little bit above that.
It
but
does.
The legs are basically half the body. I would say 1/2 of the body is the legs, and about 1/6 of the body, just above half, is the pelvis. So if you break the top half of the body into 6 parts, the very bottom of those 6 parts is going to be the pelvis. And the femur comes out a little bit below half of that 1/6. Is that right?
What? The femur?
What?
What'd you say?
Oh, you weren't listening.
I
at all.
wasn't. No.
That's all good. This chunk.
Oh, here. There you go.
This chunk right here is 1/6 of the body. Right there. And this is the halfway point of the body.
Yes.
And then the femur comes out like here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of around half, maybe the lower third. And that's the big bone in your leg. That's like your hip. The bump that comes out from your femur right here. What? The bump that comes out right here. So you got pelvis. That double bump, the second bump is called your great trochanter, and that is the femur. That's the femur sticking out.
Yes.
What's going on? Something happened?
No, nothing. I was Dahlia says if you want to show my progress on stream as an example, I don't mind. I would love to show it.
Sure.
I just didn't know if like there was any.
Lewd.
No, not lewd. Lewd. I didn't know if there was like anything on Art Share or something.
Where's
that
your
I could
progress
show.
at, Dolly? Did you put it in the Discord server in Art Share or something?
Yeah.
Can you do that?
I would love to show it because
Art Share 3?
Art Share 3, okay.
No, I'm just saying maybe post it in Art Share 3 if you want. Back. Hello, Katsua. Yeah, we're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. Currently saving up to buy the course when I'm done with nursing studies. That's awesome. Nursing is hard.
It is very hard.
I have big respect. Big respect. We have a couple friends who are nurses. And big respect for them. It's a hard job. I don't think I'd be able to do it.
I don't think I would be able to do it either.
We know a couple. We played Dungeons and Dragons with them. They actually commissioned us to do an artwork for a, what is that called? The embroidery thing-ish. But well, the wife is a nurse and the husband is an ambulance driver, and they're the medical duo.
Yep. So this was her art before. Already pretty good.
Yeah, she was working hard before that.
Yeah. And this is her art now.
Wow, definitely a lot better.
Ooh, sassy.
Oh, Dahlia, you gotta render that.
Expression. Yeah, render it. Like, add some value to it. Oh, that's cute.
That's nice stuff.
Very nice. Yeah, you can definitely see, like, the face and the line quality has definitely changed a lot.
Oh, so that's so cool.
Oh, that's so sick.
Yeah.
How much does your school cost? It's $497 US for all 7 classes. So yeah, it's a really good improvement.
So what are you? You're just in like the first
Oh, look at
term,
that.
right? Discord link? Yeah, you can get the invite to our Discord server. Oh, awesome.
Sweet. Nice, Benjamin.
Profile picture is my original character. I love it. We are all about original characters in our community. We don't do any fan art, if you haven't noticed. No fan art at all. We're all about original stories and characters. In fact, every time we have a challenge or a giveaway or anything, it's all about designing original characters. We never really do any fan art. We're not against it. We just don't do it.
Yeah.
Discord link? Yeah. Did you get that, Tiramisu?
It's on drawyenemy.com.
Watching this while feeding my axolotl. That's
Oh,
fun.
that's the lie.
Wait a sec. Lila, are you in the Discord server? Do you want to send a picture of your axolotl to pets? They sound so cool. I'd love to see it. Poor Dahlia sweating, everyone telling her to render. Yes.
Yeah,
I'd
practice.
be excited about that. You don't even need to render it. You could just cell shade it. Maybe do like something simple with like a light and a dark, and then like a couple highlights and maybe darks.
Yeah.
Like a Christina render special.
Christina render special.
Rendering, as far as I understand it, is showing each value as it responds to the light. So as a form turns away from you, Lila. Okay. What does? Yeah. Yeah. It's basically, if you're rendering, right, and you have a cylinder, and there's a light pointed at that cylinder like this. Rendering would basically be showing each like piece. So like, let's say we have this and this and this and
You're
this.
showing each stage of how the light and shadow rolls.
Rendering is like showing everything, hiding nothing. So as this form starts to turn away from the light, it's gonna get darker. And so you've got this, and then this is gonna get darker. Rendering is like that. Painting is essentially trying to show as much as possible with as little as possible. So like, rendering is like photorealistic. You can see every single tiny little shade, every single little value. Most painters, they don't do this. They take a rendering class and then they go, I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna show as much as I can with as few brush strokes as possible.
You know what they'll do?
What?
They'll go like this. Hold on, let me just do a little scene.
Well, that's gonna be a
That's gonna be
simultaneous
very
contrast.
simultaneous contrast. That was not intended.
I don't know what that's gonna be.
Cylinder.
Ooh. Yep.
They'll go like that. That, and maybe a little bit of smudging. Like they'll literally just drag a finger, go like.
Yeah.
Oh, now I don't have to shade everything.
So that would be a cylinder that's not rendered. The one on top, that would be a cylinder that's rendered. It's like showing every single little. And there's nothing wrong with
Among
rendering.
Us. It kind of does look like Among Us now that I think about it.
There's nothing wrong with rendering. It's just most painters, they learn how to render and then they get really bored with it and they want to show more with less.
I'll go like that.
So like the cool thing, well, its cylinder highlight would be long.
It would be long.
Yeah, they get really bored with it, and so they go, I don't want to do photorealism. They go boring, and then they turn into painters who try to. It's called there's brush economy, which is like how you utilize your brush strokes. It's almost like a puzzle, and most painters will work with the largest brush that they can, and they'll only shrink it when absolutely necessary. Again, nothing wrong with rendering, nothing wrong with doing that. I'm just saying a lot of people end up not enjoying rendering very much after they start getting into painting more.
Yeah.
Because you can really see an artist's decision making. When something's super rendered, you can't even, there's like no style in it. There's like no...
There's no flavor.
Yeah, there's no flavor. It's just, oh, that looks like the thing exactly, every single detail. I could have just taken a photograph. Painters, a lot of the time, like to really focus on their own interpretation of a subject. Like, how would I simplify this shirt? How would I simplify this fold? How would I simplify the lighting on the face? What shape can I turn this into that does the job? That's where a lot of painters really express themselves.
How can I show as much with as little brush strokes?
Yeah.
And that's like a personality thing as well.
The only study that I have from recently-ish is that one that I did of the headphones, remember?
Oh yes, I
Here it
remember
is.
that.
So yeah, this is a little study that I did a while back, and this is more painting. This is less rendering, more painting. Like that right there. So this was a little study I did of my headphones on my desk, and you can see that it's not very rendered. Like I'm using as large a brushes as possible. Like you can see the brush strokes at the very top above the headphones, and so I'm trying to show what's going on without going hyper detail. Like, how can I put one stroke of my brush and show how the reflection works? Or how do I put one stroke and show the cast shadow? It's like that. It would really get into design. But I've taken all the rendering classes. I teach the rendering classes.
He's very good at teaching rendering.
I try. It's like the only study that I have that's recent. I never did finish that June piece.
No, you didn't.
This one. I never finished this. This is another piece
I love
I
that
made recently.
piece.
I keep hitting your microphone. Can you push it
Oops.
away?
Yeah.
This piece right here. I never finished that. I was going to.
Awesome
I
piece.
forgot about it. And then we got June.
Ooh, she's so cool.
I actually kind of thought it was turning out kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I abandoned it for
You
some
abandoned-
reason.
well,
I don't remember.
I think we just got distracted.
Yep.
The usual, getting distracted.
Oh man. I should do more car drawings. And I should start up on 1,000 Heads again.
Yeah.
I haven't drawn for a couple of weeks. Like, not a lot. I've drawn a little bit. I'll do, like, the sketchbook doodles.
But haven't made, like, a legit finished piece.
Yup. Are you hungry? Because I am hungry.
I am hungry.
Can you do shadow and blending? I think she's probably
I'm done with tutorials for now.
tutorials for tonight.
We've been kind of going for a while.
But we are going to be live tomorrow. We will be live tomorrow, same time, Monday, today, this week, Thursday, Friday, at 5 p.m. Pacific. And we've been going for about 3 hours, and we're going to be wrapping up here and going to eat some yummy dinner.
Yes.
And snuggle with some
Kitties.
cats.
All right. Cute little doodle. I haven't done a doodle like this in a while. Well, maybe I have, but...
Yeah, you just did one yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's right, I did. Did I? Oh, yeah, I did do that one, yeah. That wasn't yesterday. That was,
or
like...
2 days ago.
That was, like, Monday, so... Maybe 3 days ago. That's true. I have done a doodle like this.
And you've been doing a lot of doodles in your sketchbook all day.
That's
of
true.
the
Oh, yeah, of our
Lady
project.
Light and all that.
Yeah, but it ain't like brain rot. That one's more like thinking
Is it?
sketches. Yeah. Well, chat.
I should do more watercolor stuff.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fun. I wish I was taking art. If you're here, you are.
Mm-hmm. I was I was kind of thinking about the clamp style for this drawing.
Cute.
Captor Sakura style.
Look who's sleeping back there. Look who shredded the little card that comes with the green screen. It's just pieces of it
Toby.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, you playing jazz? That's fun.
that's fun. I play
Jazz is cool.
Okay. Well, we're probably gonna wrap up.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
In about 21 hours. You're welcome, everybody. Don't forget, if you want to join the Discord server, you absolutely can. We always welcome new members. It's totally free. We announce when we go live. We hang out. There's art share channels. It's a lot of fun. And we do challenges as well. And another thing is there's OC drawing. Ooh, are we going to do OC drawing tomorrow?
Yeah, why not? Because I love it.
Yeah, we do this thing on stream where you post your characters in the Discord server and they get rolled randomly to get drawn on stream. These are a whole bunch of characters that got drawn of different people's OCs in the Discord server. So if you're interested in that, show up to stream. Are we going to do that tomorrow? Probably a bit.
Probably a bit. We'll probably finish this page.
What are art share channels? They are channels that you share your artwork in. Thank you, Pompoof, and keep an eye out for your package. It might get there tomorrow, I think. It's either tomorrow or the day after. So.
Okay, I was just checking how many sheets of archers that we had left. I had one left.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for hanging out.
Bye.
Thanks for showing up, and we are going to be heading off. So we appreciate you showing up. Thank you. Bye-bye. Wait. Forgot about it. It's a new thing.
Petting the kitty.
All right. Oh, has it been on Kitty stream the whole time?
Just for a few seconds.
Oh. Bye-bye.
Bye, YouTube.